Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Melvin Robert from the TV show Extra. Every day on our show, we talk to the biggest celebrities and the biggest newsmakers around. We get exclusive details about hookups and breakups, baby news, and the behind-the-scenes info from your favorite TV shows and movies. But we can only fit so much on our show. That's where Extra the podcast comes in. Listen and follow Extra the podcast and Odyssey Podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1 exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,954. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, once again, we play Big Dummy. Ted's Meat and Potatoes has the most popular hangover foods across the USA. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, funable listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Ring in the dark. All right, here we go. A sunflower farm in the UK is begging visitors to keep their clothes on. Unfortunately, the days of furries having fun at the beach may soon be gone. Woman upset to coming home to find her baby feasting on sister's honey hams. Car gets stuck in San Francisco and not because of a pesky traffic jam. And a Los Angeles man tries to run over another guy after an argument. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, today is the day that we play Big Dummy, the game show that rewards you for your stunning ignorance. Here's how it works. You call us, we will spin the category. We were right there. Almost. We're getting so much better at this. But we will spin the category wheel. Next year. And then we'll ask you a question from that category. But here's where Big Dummy separates itself from your average, more reputable game show. We will continue to ask you questions until you get one right. Because as always, we want you to leave here smarter than you showed up. Now, so far this year, our biggest dummy has been the lovely and talented Kyle, who thought a biathlon was a long sex session with a man and a woman, and found a way to answer 14 consecutive questions wrong. Can you do better? Well, of course you can. Everyone else has. So give us a call, and off we go on Big Dummy.
To be a contestant to play Big Dummy, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, the Men's Room Live, and send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
A connected business community is a strong business community, and a strong business community is good for all of us. That's why Coastal Community Bank works to keep those connections strong. Like bringing local business owners together to share their information and experience, connecting you with local resources that might help your business, and lots more. Find out all the ways Coastal can help you at coastalbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Paul Macholas, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,954. What a large and in charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat as the head chef is back. Ted's Meat Potatoes. We go to the hangover. We're going to hangover foods, the most popular hangover foods that are available in the United States. Now, I'm assuming that not only is this some early morning food, it's also some late night food that you can maybe...
So it's state by state, region by region. But ironically, a lot of the hangover foods in these states are pretty much the drunk food also from the night before.
Mm-hmm. It makes most sense. Seriously.
Funny how that works.
We know a lot of places that have very specialized food, and a lot of that just seems like it's steered toward... You're hungover, you're drunk, whatever the deal is. I know it can be a staple to some areas. What is the one in Lexington? Is it the Hot Brown? Louisville, is it the Hot Brown? Where is that?
Yes.
It's
Kentucky.
It's in Kentucky. See, now there you go. That's a perfectly good example. You look at all that food. There's a garbage plate in Rochester.
All right.
Yeah, all these different kinds of foods. I mean, look, you almost have to be drunk to go, I'll take that, because there's just so much stuff going on. You're like, all right, well, just throw it all in there and I'll eat it.
But I mean, look, even just something is, to me, the top dog of drunk food is probably pizza.
For sure. Yeah.
But you order one when you're drunk, and you know what? The next morning when you're hungover, it's like, I'm going to heat up a sliced pizza.
I don't feel that bad. It absorbs some of the alcohol and everything else. All right, so we have the most popular hangover foods across the USA coming up with the head chef and Ted's Meat Potatoes. And as we do every Monday through Friday, surprise, you get more Men's Room exclusively on the Odyssey app with a Men's Room Happy Hour. And today we made it to episode number 448. And as we do when we play the game Big Dummy, we like to do a little dirty Big Dummy for the Men's Room Happy Hour. Play along at home. A lot of people like to do that. We give you 10 questions. They're all worth 1 point. And then the bonus question is worth 2. Brand new category today on Dirty Big Dummy.
What do we got?
We have names of actual streets across the United States.
Oh, boy.
And across the world. You have to determine which one of the 4 options is not a real road. And there are some crazy names out there. Is there a Ant Fat Ass Boulevard?
Ant Fat Ass?
Mm-hmm. Wiener Cutoff Road.
Ooh, that's real.
I Dream of Jeannie Road. Are these Far From Pooping Road?
Far From Pooping.
Far From Pooping, which basically is true because there's no stops for quite a long time on that one. Can't say that one, can't say that one, can't say that one, can't say that one. Have it your way. Is that an actual street?
Have it your way.
Have it your way.
Have it your way.
Have it your way, yeah. Have it your way.
You rule.
Thank you, Ted.
Yes.
I mean, that commercial just never leaves my mind.
Right. Join us for episode number 448, the Men's Room Happy Hour. Play a little Dirty Big Dummy coming up. And today is the day we play the game known as Big Dummy. It's an easy game to play. We spin the category wheel, either playing for Team Sober or Team Not Sober. So far, our biggest dummy's been Kyle, who took 14 questions to get one right. You're either playing for Team Sober or Team Not Sober. And we play Big Dummy. We like to do a little poll. The last time we asked you to pick one, you were going to be bit by something. As we have the story of a very poisonous spider that was found in a banana shipment to a grocery store, I believe in Austria.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And this thing was, they shut down the supermarket because they still, after 3 days, could not locate the spider. They saw it, they identified it, and then the spider slipped away. So, bit by a spider, that was an option. Bit by a tick, as they finally come to a diagnosis on a lot of these people who are getting bit by tick. I believe it's like the Lone Star tick. I want to say that.
Yeah, the Lone Star tick seems to be the one that's spreading whatever, and not just Lyme's disease, but like basically ruining your ability to eat meat.
Well, anything that comes from a mammal, anything that comes from a cow, goat, pig, you name it.
People. You can't even eat people anymore.
Well, you can't eat cheese. You can eat eggs, but you can't have milk. You can't have a lot of dairy products associated with anything that comes from a mammal, especially a cow. So that's kind of a bummer. Bit by a shark. We had a woman who was from the Ukraine, I believe. She was vacationing in New York.
Yeah.
And she was bit by a shark in the thigh. She did survive, but one of the few shark attacks, they say, in decades that have been recorded in the New York area. And then the final option, we had a guy down in Oregon who just basically was drunk with his buddy and shot himself in the thigh while cleaning his gun. So those were the options. We said pick one if you could choose to have any of those happen to you. Coming in fourth place at 11%, you said the one thing that you would not want to be bit by, that would be a shark.
That's fair.
So only 11% said, yeah, I'll take the shark bite. Believe it or not, bit by a tick was 12%. there was a 1%. You said, like, I'll rather take the shark bite and still be able to eat meat than being bit by a tick.
I'm on that train.
As 12% of you said, I'll be bit by a tick.
Think about that.
It's 1% off between a shark bite,
a shark, and a tick.
Plus, it's much cooler.
Well, you find
Your
the tick hours later
is cooler.
Yeah, it's not like some tiny little bug and I can't eat meat. It's like, I lost an arm, but I got bit by a shark.
32% of you said, believe it or not, I'll take a bullet to the thigh.
Self-inflicted.
I will shoot myself in the thigh. 32% picked that. The number one option was to be bit by a spider at 45%. And as we told you, that spider was one of the most venomous spiders in all the world.
It was the most venomous spider.
I'm not even sure they have an anti-venom or whatever it is that they need to.
And they've never found the spider, right? I mean, at some point, you have to reopen the grocery store.
I've not read an update.
See, and that's what the problem. If I see a spider, that spider is dead within 7 seconds of me seeing it. It's an easy solution to the problem.
Yeah.
I cannot believe they're just like, ooh, spider, and run away. Like, man, handle that.
So bit by a spider, 45%, that wins the poll.
You realize, based on that poll, okay, we have a shark in a shark tank, I have a tick, or I can hand you a gun and you shoot yourself. And more people would take that gun and shoot themselves in the leg than even have a tick bite them.
Yeah.
That's mind-blowing to me.
You can still eat meat.
Yeah, correct. It comes down to that.
Bacon, pepperoni, all these things, ham, pulled pork, ribs, you name it.
I mean, it's all good stuff.
I'm telling you, my buddy has it, and he was never really the happiest person in the world. He was always just kind of, whatever. But he's definitely more grumpy now.
Well, yeah, I can't eat.
I mean, it could be just age, I don't know. But like anything else, he's just like, going out and eating is not a fun experience for him. And I cannot think of something that I enjoy more in life than going out to a bar, getting some food, having some drinks. But typically that food product involves some type of meat product.
Yes, it does. Sliders, all that kind of thing.
Cheeseburgers, something, So when you go to a bar, he's cruising the salad menu. Very few bars, have seafood, like the kind of selection that you would want, especially with...
He can't have seafood?
He can have seafood.
He can have seafood.
It's just the fact that, you need to go to a seafood place. I'm saying there's nothing wrong with a fish sandwich, but you're a McDonald's man.
Right.
You are and you can do a fish sandwich, and it is okay.
Didn't you guys take him to Al's Italian Beef in Chicago?
Oh, yeah.
Of course he's miserable.
That's why he's grumpy.
And it was in the one that we took him to, which is the one, Ted, you probably know the area better than I do, near the Rainforest Cafe. So it's not too far away from downtown Chicago. It's right downtown. But that was a double store. All right. So they had like the famous hot dog place there.
All right.
And then they had the Italian beef place.
Oh, nice.
So you could either get a really good hot dog, all beef hot dog. They had a veggie dog.
All right. I'm just thinking about this poor bastard sitting there with you guys.
Yeah, so there were two different places in one big building out there. So you could select between one of the two, and he was just looking around like this absolutely sucks. He was miserable.
What happens if he eats meat?
It's the next day, and he gets itchy. His throat swells up. He kind of breaks out into a rash, where it's like a stinging rash.
I mean, it's not funny, but I'm smiling.
Like hot to the touch, your skin in certain areas.
Damn.
And he does never know where that flash is going to come up. Sometimes it's on his chest. He says he's scratching all night. Sometimes it's like in the back of his neck and like looking like a crack addict, Right. He's scratching like, But he said it's not a good thing. All right, so this week on the poll, we get this from CNN, and I read this immediately, Steve, when I saw the headline because I thought of you. What passing gas can say about your health? Because you farted yesterday and we had to leave.
Oh, my God.
We had to clear out the entire office. It was time to go outside and get a smoke.
It was bad, man.
They say just as everyone poops, everyone has gas, but the reason why you break wind can vary. Sometimes it can be a cause from concern. As a pediatric gastroenterologist, I get asked all the time about farts. There are two sources of gas, and not all gas is gas. Part of what we pass is air. We all swallow some air. Some people swallow a lot of air. Now that seems to be somewhat odorless.
Okay.
Real gas, on the other hand, is primarily the byproduct of fermentation of food in the colon. Our colon has billions of bacteria living in it. If we don't digest food, the bacteria will. That's why doctors will say maybe you should take a probiotic or eat your yogurt or have some good gut health.
It
helps your digestive system move everything through.
But isn't a fart basically the fart of billions of bacteria? Like
that is working its way on the food as it works its way through your intestines.
So when you fart, you're farting the fart of a billion bacteria that are farting in your colon.
And it's fermenting, essentially. Right. So think about like yeast fermentation or how you brew beer and how things grow or whatever.
We asked that from Joe from Elysian. He was explaining years ago. He was explaining the entire process of brewing a beer, showing us all the different things. Basically, I said, so wait a minute. Essentially, we need the yeast to fart. He goes, that is not how we state it, but biologically, yes, that is what the fermentation is when yeast farts.
So they say when it comes to the amount of space gas takes up, the real deal also tends to be bigger in volume and happens as food is moving through the colon. Passing gas between maybe 5 and 15 times per day is totally normal. If I pass gas 15 times a day, I'm going to say that 10 of those are at night when I'm sleeping. So that must be when my body is just absolutely processing the most food, which makes no sense because I'm being sedentary.
I feel like the morning is when I fart the most.
Yeah, I feel like definitely fart a lot in the morning. It's always odd to me when your significant other is asleep and maybe they fart like 3 times because you're just like, come on, man. You know, you're like, if you're awake and you fart, I go, okay. But like, you're dead asleep, you know, your ass is aimed at me and you're snoring and then...
You also don't tighten up your butt cheeks.
That's what I mean. It's always worse.
It's really flappy and just like
they sound worse. They smell more.
You're all relaxed. I mean, when you try to sneak one out when you're awake, you know.
When
you're sleeping, it's just game on. What can especially lead to gas or excessive amounts of it is eating foods that are more difficult to digest and therefore more likely to ferment.
What are these foods? Because I want to eat some of those.
The old classic is beans. And there's a protein in beans that tends to be difficult to digest. Beans are one source of what they call FODMAPs, foods high in FODMAPs, which is a long anagram that I can't even pronounce any of the words involved in this thing, or I would have tried it. They include certain types of vegetables, fruits, starches, and dairy products like, and these are all of them, not just dairy, cauliflower, garlic, apples, peaches, milk, wheat, and high fructose corn syrup.
That's why vegetarians fart so goddamn much, man.
There's a lot of that involved there. So, yes. So, with the basically what they said is, you know, if you are farting excessively, you might want to go talk to a doctor about your gut health, but it is not life-threatening, and it's nothing. It's nothing to be alarmed about as far as something that you should be concerned about your personal health. But it's something that you can change if you so choose to do.
By the way, we're talking about yeast farting for your beer. Somebody here points out yeast farts CO2 and it urinates alcohol. So just remember that.
Yeah.
Thank you, yeast.
I was going to say, and I think you can tell the difference if you've had a bad day of probably a fun day. Right, but drinking beers, eating burgers or whatever, like those farts the next day are going to be right.
All those things contribute to, And sometimes you can even smell what you ate.
Oh, yeah. So it smells like the food roasted garlic in particular. Like you fart and it smells like you're cooking. What did Castle tell us?
Castle told us, oh my God. Oh my God. He said he was in his office one day. This is years and years and years ago. And he let out one of those hot, like little ones.
He said it was unusually hot.
Right. But just like exactly. One of those. That you know it. And those are the worst. And he said it was just like, oh God. But then all of a sudden we had a coworker walk into the office. And I believe their exact quote was, ooh, that coffee that's brewing smells great.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I didn't have the heart to tell her. That's not what you're smelling.
That coffee that's brewing smells great.
Come on.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had a coffee fart. I drink a lot of coffee. I'm not sure that it's ever smelled like that. But
like good coffee.
That's good coffee.
Not just that you brew coffee. That's
good coffee.
Really good.
Good coffee. It's a dark roast.
I gotta wonder about this person's coffee habits.
And he didn't tell. I'd have told him, like, dude, I just farted. That is not coffee.
All right, so your significant other has one of these things. Number one will be constant flatulence, and yes, it will stink, and it's all the time, and that's what you're going to have to deal with if you're with this person. The second item up for bids would be chronic halitosis. I don't know if you've known anyone that or has had chronic halitosis.
I already know the person you're going to say.
But it does not go away. There's a lot of different reasons for halitosis. A lot of it has to do with people's diet. A lot of it has to do with their oral hygiene and oral health. There are also bacterias that lead to this.
But it sucks.
Yes.
Seriously, we worked with a guy who had chronic halitosis. All right, so just to give you an idea of how bad it could be, one, the guy's breath always stank. It didn't matter, and it was bad. And no matter how far away he was from you when he spoke, you got a whiff of it. But one day, he was in the studio with us, and we're prepping up for the show. And Miles and I just looked at each other because we can smell his breath, but we realized his mouth wasn't open.
No, he was just breathing through his nose.
Through his nose, dude. And we're just looking at each other like this. Like, come on, man.
Right. Choice number 3 will be the old tried and true IBS. Now, if you know anyone who's ever suffered with IBS, it's a pain in the ass, no pun intended. It's one of those things where, you maybe have plans to go to a movie. You maybe have plans to go out to dinner, whatever the deal. Where the hell are these flies come from?
I don't know.
Goddamn fruit flies.
I
killed 5 of them yesterday. We got fruit flies.
It does seem like when it gets hot, they somehow just show up. But it's
there's nothing here for them to eat, man. I don't know.
Because I was looking like, do we have any food in our office, whatever the deal is?
I did date a chick with IBS.
It's horrible for the people who have it.
It's constant. This same friend fairly recently flew out here to see the Chili Peppers play. From Florida, not this last tour, but the tour before that. We went to dinner first, and then we were going to walk up to, it was still Key Arena at the time, check out the Chili Peppers. And we have finished dinner. I am outside smoking, waiting for everyone to join me. She could not join us because she pooped herself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, seriously. This is a grown-ass woman. She's wearing white pants, I remember that. But yeah, she pooped herself in the restaurant because of the IBS. And didn't make the show.
Yeah, I knew somebody that had it that I kind of liked at the time, and it was hit and miss whether they would show up within the group.
Oh, right.
So it was, a bunch of people that we knew. That person's going to be there, or are they not going to be there?
Because of IBS, man.
If they were not there, then you just kind of assume because they told you they were going to be there. They could not wait to get there, and they did not go there. So it was, and then when I found that out, I was like, oh, that person didn't show up to work the next day. It was a struggle because that's not easy. And the fourth option is the person, your significant other, would be cross-eyed or lazy-eyed.
Yeah.
I'm taking that every day of the week.
You are.
Where are these goddamn
Kill that mother. You got him. Daniel.
I miss that son of a bitch.
Come here, man. Come on in. No, there he goes. He just went in the air filter. Okay, so our men's room poll. And you can vote now if you follow us at Men's Room Live on Twitter. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed. We'll take a break, come back with Big Dummy right after these.
For 25 years, Stamps.com has made mailing and shipping easy. All you need is a computer and printer. Imagine mailing and shipping right from your desk, anytime. No traffic, no waiting, no hassle. Plus, Stamps.com gives you discounts up to 84%. Sign up for Stamps.com today. Use code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, plus postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
KISW presents Kicks for Kids. We're helping out the fine folks at Mary's Place. Mary's Place, they shelter over 400 kids of all ages.
Correct.
That stay with them in the Seattle metropolitan area. They're all getting set to go back to school, and one thing that'll help those kids be a little more confident as they walk the halls and hang out with their buds, brand new pair of shoes. That's the entire idea behind Kicks for Kids. Tomorrow, by the way, is in fact Kicks for Kids Day. But get to KISW.com right now. Donate what you can. $50 puts a pair of sneakers on a kid. $100 buys a pair of sneakers for a teenager. They get to pick out the brand and the style of shoes they want. Give them that confidence. So please.
So it won't be Stadia.
At KISW.com. We have word on the street that if we make that number, Ryan's going to give us the rest of the time off.
That's what I've heard.
Did you hear that, Ted? So in other words, if we can make that goal by 5 o'clock today, we get tomorrow off.
By 5 o'clock today or
anytime?
Anytime.
If we hit that number, $20,000 is what we need. I'm not sure what we've got right now, but he said as soon as you hit that number, you can go home because Steve's flying out of town over there.
That is correct.
So he's got an 8 o'clock flight tomorrow. And we got to make sure he gets out of here and makes it, especially with the TSA situation, everything else. So it'd be really good if we could hit that number. And then, we can just go and enjoy the sunshine. So Kicks for Kids. Donate now at KISW.com. All right, the game is, what is that?
You got to find this goddamn app. You just remind, because, God forbid you just check into the airport now, so it has to be on the app. There we go, the Alaska app.
Did you do that thing, man, where you can check in? I think you have to set an appointment time.
Oh, the Spot Saver.
Have you seen that? Yeah, the Spot Saver.
I used it myself last time I flew.
And it works?
Awesome.
Okay.
I'm going to do all that crap tomorrow.
Yeah, do that.
I just had to make sure that...
Don't you have Clear?
I do have Clear. So do I still have to do all that crap if I have Clear?
No, you should be able to cruise through.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Get clear, dude. I'm telling you.
Very busy, so make sure.
Traffic, man.
That we get that
Friday.
That we get that number. We do want all the kids to be able to go back to school and choose. And Mary's Place does an amazing job. So please go now and donate anything you can at KISW.com.
By the way, today's poll where we're asking, what do you want to deal with from your significant other?
Flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or being cross-eyed.
Correct. So a couple of texts came in. Someone here says, I have IBS. It's so bad that I've given up trying to pee standing up. You just never know when you're going to fill your shorts. I barely ever leave my home because I'm afraid that I'll have an attack. Love the show, bitches. So
that's horrible.
That sucks.
That is horrible.
Someone here says the good thing about having a cross-eyed partner is you'd always think that you were giving killer sex. Someone else says flatulence. I think it's kind of cute when my girl farts.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, look, all these things are fine. I just know for a fact that we used to work with a guy, and strangely enough, with a local connection now, but you would be in a group and you weren't really sure who he was talking to.
I know what you're talking about.
Everybody kind of looked at each other like, is he talking to you or is he talking to me?
Ted, it's a guy who, he was on air in Baltimore. He had a cute little wife. We said, how did you meet? And his response was, I used to babysit her. Which
love the guy.
He's a very nice guy.
I just reached out to him the other day.
Did you?
He asked him if he could play some Crack the Sky for me. But yeah.
Dude, I told you I have a buddy that has, I guess, like a lazy eye.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, like, when you're sitting next to him, if you're to the left of him, he doesn't look over. He's like an owl, and he will swing his whole head and have to look at you.
Really?
Right? Yeah, just because he doesn't want it, like...
Okay, doesn't want to make it obvious.
And I wonder, I've talked to him about this. He doesn't even realize when it's happening.
That's what's weird to me. He doesn't know when it's just relaxing.
I was like, but your vision still stays straight. He's like, yes. Which is...
So even though your eye drifts,
right,
his vision stays forward.
Correct.
Which is weird, because if you move your eyes, then your vision changes, you know? I'm looking at you
He described it as like a typewriter. He's like, when it gets all the way to the end, that I can feel it, and it clicks back.
Ding.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it goes all the way back. Ching.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe eyes aren't that important to me. Like, let her be hot and cross-eyed.
Whatever. Game is Big Dummy 206-803 Rock. Steve, who is our first contestant, ready to play the big game.
Sorry, someone here. Careful Thrill saw a report about that clear system at the airport and some issue the other day. Son of a bitch, man.
Kicks for Kids. Donate now. KISW.com.
I'll need more time.
That's right.
Hello, David. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. David, are you on team sober, team not sober?
Sober.
Welcome to Big Dummy, David. All right. What are you taking here on the men's room poll? Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
She already has IBS, so cross-eyed.
All right. What are the biggest problems with that? Is it like if you're planning on going someplace or you have a weekend planned, or does that stop the plans?
Hers isn't as bad. It's random flare-ups.
All right.
How long were you dating her before you found out she had IBS?
The first year.
Okay.
All right.
Gotta go to the bathroom.
We just got married this Saturday.
Oh no! Congratulations, man. How was the ceremony?
It was awesome. We had a
hang on there, David.
Once again, bedroom colors. Here are the 7 words you can't say.
So yes, it was hot.
It's a basic question, wasn't it?
Sucker, mother,
yeah.
And please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Honest answer.
That was a very honest answer.
Easy on the curse words.
Sorry.
Did you say you had a 60-pound pig?
Yeah.
That's what you called your wife? Oh, my God, man.
What was the... Because we were just
literally,
talking about this.
like 2 breaks ago, I was like, you guys ever had a whole roasted pig? It's awesome.
Yeah, we're looking at the pictures of it, the whole thing.
What was the best part of the roasted pig?
I don't know. It was all good, really.
Okay, so you had no idea where the meat was coming from. You're getting married. You're just getting a plate of food. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the meat from the cheeks.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we've heard. We just had this conversation.
It makes sense that they would save it for the groom.
Yeah, I was just telling him. I was somewhere they had it, and the guy was nice enough to be like, you can go up first and get the cheeks.
Trust me, even people who package and scale halibut or take care of halibut for a living, if they're the fishermen, they take the cheeks.
Yeah. All right, David, here is your question. What do button, cremini, and portobello mushrooms all have in common?
They're gross.
Mushrooms?
They're all the same. It's just different stages of development. So the button mushrooms are the young portobello. Cremini mushrooms are the teenage portobello. And then portobellos are the old man portobellos. Yeah, so button creminis and all the same. All right, your question, in what state would you find Tombstone?
Ooh, that Montana?
Arizona.
David, what are you doing back there?
I'm driving.
Okay, sounds like you're demoing a house.
No, I'm just driving.
All right, the question, what is the capital of Connecticut?
Used to be an insurance company. Named after it.
I don't know, Geico?
Hartford, Connecticut.
The Hartford. For home, life, and health.
I've only ever driven through that city.
Me too.
Up to Massachusetts.
No reason to stop. All right, your question. Who is the first boxer to win the World Heavyweight Championship 3 times?
Muhammad Ali.
All right, very good. Nice job.
Which means he lost twice.
He lost to, Foreman once
and Frazier
once, so that would be any time. And then
won it again, right? So 3. So it's like,
did he not get stripped of it when he refused to fight in the Vietnam War?
Did they strip him of it? I don't know.
I can't remember.
But he was Cassius Clay then, wasn't he?
He was still Cassius Clay, right? When he got out of prison, he was Muhammad Ali.
I think.
My mother met him years ago, and as the story goes, my mom's friend Sylvia, they'd been best friends forever, started dating this dude who was Cassius Clay, but Cassius Clay wasn't anyone that anyone knew at the time. And she said, I remember he pulled up, he had this big-ass white Cadillac, right? Real cocky, say good-looking guy, but I mean, what we knew him to be as a boxer was just how he was. So she goes, look, he was said, like, when they introduced, hey, this is my friend Carolyn, this is Cassius. And, Carolyn, you're a real pretty woman, but you ain't as pretty as me. So, like, that's how he opened the conversation, right? And she's like, this guy's a jackass. Anyway, they did like a double date. He drove. And by the end of the night, she's like, he was cool, and I kind of liked him because he was so smug about everything, but I'm a fighter. You're a fighter. What do you mean you fight? No, man, I don't get into like street fights. Like, I'm a boxer. I want to be the world champ. She's like, yeah, frickin' yeah. And she's like, then obviously.
But he went on I will say this. Knowing your mother, at the time, she probably still could have kicked his ass.
Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, Liquor and Whores.
Liquor and Whores.
Daniel, you sober or not sober?
Team sober today.
Okay. Daniel,
that's stupid.
It's great. Congratulations, Dave, on your marriage and on your wedding this last weekend. My brother's name is David, so getting the David and Daniel together, it's kind of cool.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right, Daniel, what's your significant other dealing with? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or being cross-eyed?
Well, my wife has multiple sclerosis, diabetes, and she has macular degeneration, and she does fart a lot, so you got to be in there somewhere.
I'm sure she's very happy that you shared all of that information.
Yeah.
She got all this, and she farts a lot.
I know, I'm going to get crucified, but
Lucky. Okay, what do you want to pick?
I guess I'd have to go with, I guess the flatulence, because IBS she does not have, and I do not want to wish that on anybody.
Okay.
By the way, people have they've corrected us on Muhammad Ali. So he was Muhammad Ali when he was stripped. So he was stripped of the title.
Okay.
He was not Cassius Clay, and he lost the title to Frazier and Leon Spinks.
Oh, Leon.
Although somebody here said they wrote Leon Stinks. But yes, Leon Spinks.
Correct.
Yeah, that's exactly. All right, Daniel, here is your question. What is the International Criminal Police Organization better known as?
Ooh.
Oh, that's, goodness.
You've heard of it.
I know. It's like right on the tip of my tongue. It's the international date. Is this that international database? That's what you're speaking of. Oh goodness. Can you repeat the question for me, Phil?
I sure can. Now we can him and haw more.
I know, right?
What is the International Criminal Police Organization better known as?
Interpol!
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
That's a whole lot for a one and done.
That was a one and done.
But wait.
Sorry, guys.
If you are one and done, you get a true or false question, and our very own D. Ted Smith been working diligently on a subject near and dear to his heart: nursery rhyme characters.
Correct.
Yes. He always goes on about it. All right, so your question: true or false? The three little pigs were drug mules for a Peruvian cartel.
First thing that popped in my head was, little pig, let me in. I would have to say that would be true.
Yeah, absolutely. The wolf was a cop. Most people don't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to break these guys down.
Actually, the wolf worked for Interpol.
Interpol, see, it all comes together on this show. Yep. That's how we do it.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROD.
Mike's favorite caller.
Hello, Juan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hola. Juan, are you sober or not sober?
I'm sober right now, but tomorrow,
Okay. All right, let's try to be one and done on this one.
Oh, one and done, yeah.
Our men's room poll: your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed married.
Yeah, that is the tab I click on my porn searches. Cross-eyed. You know somebody out there has a wife or husband who has all of these things.
A fetish for that, too.
All right, here's your question.
Cross-eyed is not too far off. Different phrase.
Yeah. All right.
She was just cross-eyed right now about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. And for 5 minutes total. All right, here's your question. Multiple choice. The first lesbian kiss on primetime network television was in 1991 on what TV show? Designing Women, Northern Exposure, LA Law, or The Golden Girls?
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. What was that? I'm sorry.
The first lesbian kiss on primetime network TV was in 1991 on what TV show? Designing Women, Northern Exposure, LA Law, or The Golden Girls?
Golden Girls.
I was going to guess the same thing, Juan.
Yeah, that'd be hot.
Well, it seems like with a comedy like that, they could get away with it.
You can get away with it, for sure.
Law and Order?
LA Law.
Or LA Law.
LA Law.
Oh.
All right.
Ah, the West Coast.
Ladies kissing. Well, while we're on the subject, the first, quote, passionate gay male kiss on primetime network TV was in 2000. On what TV show? Dawson's Creek, CSI, Dark Angel, or ER?
Jeez. Let's go ER.
Dawson's Creek.
The Beak?
I don't know. Was he gay on the show?
No.
They said it was the first.
But I didn't watch every season. He might have had a season where...
Season 3, the surprise.
Beak's got like 25 kids.
I know, man.
He's got a lot of kids.
Yeah, he does.
Well, I mean, if I was married to him, I'd have a lot of sex with him.
Good-looking man right there.
Right?
Good to know, Ted. Yep. All right, your question. What trade name comes from combining the French words for velvet and hook? And it's used in place of, say, sewing or laces or anything along those lines.
Oh, man. What was the trade?
So what trade name comes from combining the French words for both velvet and hook?
And it's a job.
It's not a job. It is, I'm trying to think. It's kind of a material, more or less, that you might use in place of buttons or sewing or laces, etc.
Crocheting?
Well, that was what I was thinking, too, because it's French.
Velcro.
Oh, Velcro.
Yeah.
Velcro.
You grow up in Velcro shoes as a kid, and then when you get old enough, you're back in.
I'm pretty sure I'm getting close to the Velcro days again.
Don't do that, dude.
Don't do it. That's why Skechers came along and said, look,
slip-ons?
Just slip your damn foot into it. Don't do Velcro.
Yeah.
I like how Skechers tries to sell it, though. All that trouble of bending over to tie your shoes. Like, it's not that much trouble, bro.
Okay, I have a couple pairs of shoes
Crocs are pretty good.
that I love, right?
Do you wear Crocs, Juan?
Hell yeah.
Of course you do.
That doesn't shock me.
No. But I do have a pair of shoes that I love.
Work.
And the tongue always slides to the side. And
I got a pair of Chucks like that. Pisses me off.
The slip-ons, they don't have a tongue. That's
no tongue.
One thing I like about
tongue free.
Yeah.
I rarely say I don't want tongue, but in that case. All right.
Neither do Crocs.
You're not going to sell me on Crocs, man. My kid loves Crocs. Somehow he does not look stupid in them. Maybe I'm just used to seeing them. But when I just see the shoes sitting on the floor, I'm like, that is the dumbest goddamn
That woman who had her head stuck in a crocodile.
Yeah.
I wonder if she tried to tongue him and he's like, freak him out a little bit. What are you doing, woman?
And then they had passionate sex. All right, your question. What was Will Ferrell's character's name in the movie Anchorman?
Ron Jeremy. Ron Burgundy.
There you go.
Nice job,
Ron Jeremy. I see where your mind is. Yeah.
That's a way different movie. The game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Morgan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Morgan, are you sober or not sober?
I'm not sober.
Morgan, welcome to Big Dummy. All right, our men's room poll. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed it is.
Yeah. Philippines, Taiwan, Indonesia, or Vietnam? Which Asian country was originally known as Formosa?
Ooh, sounds like a drink.
Indonesia.
Taiwan.
What, Formosa?
Formosa.
Okay.
It does sound like something you get at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Gotta get a venti Formosa.
Can I get whipped cream?
All right, here's one. Beverly Hills 90210 was originally supposed to take place in what state? Texas, Florida, New Jersey, or Maryland?
Maryland.
Damn.
Yep.
Why?
It was originally titled Potomac 20854, but they ended up changing the name because it's got to be somewhere people are more familiar with. It's originally supposed to be rich kids of like politicians and stuff.
Gotcha. I'll be damned.
Right, remember, I grew up in PG County.
Correct.
But which is not have a great reputation, but next door, Montgomery County is one of the richest counties in the country.
More Big Dummy coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Melvin Robert from the TV show Extra. Every day on our show, we talk to the biggest celebrities and the biggest newsmakers around. We get exclusive details about hookups and breakups, baby news, and the behind-the-scenes info from your favorite TV shows and movies. But we can only fit so much on our show. That's where Extra the podcast comes in. Listen and follow Extra the podcast and Odyssey Podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
89.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dave. Welcome to the men's room.
Big Dummy.
Hello, Dave.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Dave, are you sober or not sober?
Sober.
Sober Dave, welcome to Big Dummy. Okay, our men's room poll. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
I'm going cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed for Dave. Okay.
All right. Let's see here. What question do we have for you here, Dave? Okay. Let's go with this one. In the movie Shallow Hal, what real-life self-help guru hypnotizes Hal into seeing people as their inner beauty?
Oh, man. God, I can barely remember that movie. Oh, crap.
A real-life self-help guru.
I don't have a clue, to be honest with you. Sorry.
Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
There you go. Probably the most famous self-help.
Are there any other self-help gurus?
Isn't he just more like a life coach?
Yeah, but back then you were a self-help guru.
But not
now
one-on-one.
You're a life coach, right? All right. Let's stick with movies. In what 1992 movie does Jennifer Jason Leigh play a dangerous, quote, roommate from hell?
God. Oh. You guys are killing me today.
92?
1992.
Okay.
Say it again. In what
1992 movie does Jennifer Jason Leigh play a dangerous roommate from hell?
I have no idea.
Single white female?
Correct. Single white female. It's originally going to be called Where the White Women At, but they just went with single white female. All right, your question. What state was named after the King of France? Which makes sense since it was purchased from France.
Let's say Louisiana.
There you go.
Boom.
Nice job, Dave.
Nice
Nice
that
job.
last little hint in there. Yeah.
Game is Big Dummy 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Steven, you spelled with a V or a PH?
It's a PH.
Jeez, that's God.
Even. Are you sober or not sober?
I'm sober.
All right, Stefan. Welcome to Big Dummy. Okay, your significant other has chronic flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or cross-eyed?
I go cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. A lot of cross-eyed love today.
Yeah, man. All right, your question. Who was the first Boy Scout and first Catholic to be elected president?
Ooh, that JFK?
One and done. Nice job.
All right, before we let you go with your one and doneness, we have Ted's true or false regarding nursery rhyme characters. Your question, true or false? Old MacDonald's farm was actually a front for an illegal cockfighting ring.
Yeah, it's true.
Absolutely, it's true. So
You know who owns it now?
Who's that?
Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr., yes. By the way, JFK, right? Because people always love their dumbass conspiracy theories. So they were worried about him becoming president because he was Catholic.
Correct.
Because they were convinced that basically he was a pawn of the Pope and that the Pope, by electing a Catholic, would then run the United States. It doesn't matter who the president is or where we are in the decades, somebody comes up with something stupid to make it a big, that was like a big concern. Like, the Pope's going to take over America. Like, no, dude, he's just Catholic.
I mean, my mom would talk about it all the time. She was like, you just have no idea what a big deal it was that they elected a Catholic. And I'm like, why? Really?
Because they thought that, again, seriously, the whole conspiracy thing was that obviously, right? It's right there. Who couldn't figure this out? The Pope's going to take over the United States if they elect JFK.
Jesus.
Just look at the signs, man.
They're all over the place. And he's still alive, you know.
Game is Big Dummy 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Doc. Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola, dude.
Hola.
John, are you on team sober or team not sober?
Working on a tasty buzz, not sober.
Nice. Tasty buzz. All right, John, our men's room poll. What is your significant other dealing with? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed for sure.
Cross-eyed it is. Sounds like you're a little cross-eyed right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
All right. Here's your question. What two states have the misfortune of sharing a border with Florida?
Oh, God. I'm going to say Georgia and Louisiana.
Close.
Georgia and Alabama.
Georgia and, yes, Alabama.
Yeah,
What's that?
Well, Tommy Tuberville lives in Florida.
That's correct.
And he is the senator from Alabama.
You know, it's funny. I saw a thing with Jameis Winston the other day.
All right.
It's from back in the day, and he was talking about the dirty South. And he was just, saying the states, and then he was like, and most of Florida. So he's like, what about Southern Florida? He's like, man, that's not even Florida.
Yeah, that's an entirely different.
No. I told you before, the famous saying in Miami is the farther north you go, the more southern it gets.
Yeah, that is correct. Has he retired yet, or is he on a team?
No, I think he's still in New Orleans.
He's back up in New Orleans.
Yeah, because they got Carr.
Yeah,
that's
right. Believe it or not, man, if you go to Naples, it's Little Italy.
Is it really?
Oh yeah,
Well,
everybody's
it's
from New
called
York
Naples.
and New Jersey. Seriously, that's where a lot of people from New York and New Jersey go to retire.
Naples. I'll be sure to avoid it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, here's your question. Na is the chemical symbol for which element? Na.
Oh, dude, I'm totally blowing it. Can't remember. Is it sodium?
It is.
Oh.
One and done.
One
Nice
and
job.
done. All right, hang on. We have Ted's nursery rhyme characters, true or false. Here is your question. The word lamb in Mary Had a Little Lamb was a euphemism for labia.
Ooh. You know what? I'm gonna say that's true.
And absolutely is. She was well known for her minuscule labia.
Nice job there, Stoner John. Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Yes, sir, it is, Ted. James, welcome to the men's room.
Oh, hola.
Hola.
James, are you on Team Sober or Team Not Sober?
Team 420.
All right, James. Welcome to Big Dummy. Okay, our men's room poll. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
Got to be cross-eyed.
Everybody going for the cross-eyed today. All right.
All the cross-eyed ladies out there feeling real good right now. Yeah. All right, I'm going to ask you this stupid-ass question, but I have to ask. So we're going to the world of Morse code, okay? Dot, dash, dash, dot, dash, dot is Morse code for what commonly used symbol on your keyboard or smartphone. It was introduced in 2004. That was the first edition since World War II.
Keyboard. You say it was added in
2004. It was the first introduction to Morse code since World War II.
Off of the text keyboard?
Yeah.
A question mark.
Not a bad guess. The at symbol.
Where are you at?
Because I realized with Morse code, like if you were trying to, type out the web address or something like that, there was no way to really do it, so they had to add the at symbol so that you could still commit, because that's where tech is taking us, right?
I just think it's funny somebody's typing out an email address in Morse code.
In Morse code. Like, who are you communicating with on Morse code to tell them to check out a website?
They still teach that in the Navy?
Well, Morse code? Probably. I would think so. Just as a rudimentary thing to know, but yeah. All right, here's your question. What state is home to the Augusta National Golf Club?
I'll give you a hint, James.
Okay.
The town is named Augusta. Right.
Yes, I can see Bill Murray. Augusta, yes. It's a southern state. Yes, I want to say. Oh.
Tears in his eyes.
Georgia stuck in my mind because he just said Georgia, but Tennessee.
Dude, it's Georgia. It was Georgia.
Okay, we should have gone with my first instinct.
Yep.
All right, your question. In what century was the original Star Trek set?
In what century?
Yeah, what century was Star Trek supposedly taking place?
Oh gosh, and that's like one of my favorite shows.
Is it?
Embarrassing.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Come on, man.
I want to say 2,200.
Do they mention it in the opening credits?
They don't.
Okay.
I got this one. That's the 23rd.
It is the 23rd century. Buck Rogers. Buck Rogers was in what century, Ted?
Buck Rogers?
Because I want to say the full title. 25th. Buck Rogers in the 25th.
Why did they do Uncle Buck meets Buck Rogers?
Oh, that'd be a great mashup.
Yeah.
Beady Buck. All right, Mary Lou Retton won 5 medals in what sport in the 1984 Summer Olympics?
It's been a pleasure and an honor, gentlemen. This is Judy Gymnastics.
Mary Lou. There we go.
Then I remember she was on a box of Wheaties. Mm-hmm. I feel like she was on the Wheaties box longer than damn near anyone.
West Virginia's finest. People loved her.
It used to be like it used to be a lot more rare.
Because I remember Bruce Jenner being on there.
Correct.
Then I remember Mary Lou Retton.
I think Cal Ripken was on there.
Did he end up on the Wheaties box?
After the Iron.
The worst part is, like, Wheaties are a terrible cereal. I'd much rather be on, like, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
And some of them sometimes are regional.
Oh, right. Yeah, I have heard that.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Tom. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. Tom, sober, not sober?
I'm sober today.
All right, Tom, welcome to Big Dummy. Okay, on our poll, your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed for the win.
Man, oh man.
Not even a contest today.
All right, here's your question. In TV, what does SCTV stand for?
Did you say SC?
SCTV.
I'm sorry, can you spell it phonetically?
It's the 4 letters.
TV.
Yeah, it's actually the letters themselves. So,
Sierra Charlie TV.
Second City TV.
You got it. Another one and done.
we went through all of that, and you immediately guessed the answer. We went through all that, and you're like, oh, Second City TV.
I've just never heard anybody ask to spell 4 letters.
And you spell the letters, okay.
Well, he said phonetically. He couldn't quite.
I got you.
You know what, Mike, I'll be dead honest. I don't know what he meant by that.
What, like the phonetic alphabet?
All right, so that's why you
Sierra,
said that.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so you get your one and done true or false nursery rhyme question. True or false, Jack and Jill had an incestuous relationship?
Oh, God.
No, actually, they were only step siblings.
That is correct. A lot of people, they misunderstood what was happening. They weren't fetching a pail of water.
Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Jack was getting a mouth hug.
My apologies for this list.
Got so excited. Yeah, you're a sick dude, man.
Oh, I know.
Hello, Eric. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
Eric, sober or not sober?
Not sober.
Eric, welcome to Big Dummy. Okay. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed.
Farting is funny.
Flatulence it is.
It is funny. By the way, people are correct. People said, hey, man.
Steve?
But I think it's funny all the goddamn time, unless someone else does it. People are pointing out, the year 2200 is the 23rd century. So technically, yes, he should have gotten it.
Oh.
But that said, I don't know that they ever said the year.
Shouldn't it be 2201? Because there's no year 0.
You know what? That's a good point. That is a fine point. Thank you. Thank you, Eric. All right. Here's your question. In what state is Grand Teton National Park?
The Grand Tetons.
Mm-hmm.
The 14ers.
I want to say it's in Utah.
Ooh, Colorado.
Wyoming.
Oh, it's Wyoming.
That's Wyoming.
Oh, damn it. Yes, Colorado.
Confident with that one.
14ers in Colorado, yes.
That's Colorado, you dumbass.
I know my geography, dumbass.
All right, your question. Which historic event and tragedy was the subject of the 1958 movie A Night to Remember?
What tragedy?
Historic event and tragedy. What was the subject of the 1958 movie A Night to Remember?
58?
Mm-hmm.
Was it the Great Chicago Fire?
Is it the Titanic?
Sinking of the Titanic.
Huh.
All right.
That was the black and white one.
That was the black and white one, yes. All right, your question. What sauce is used in traditional Eggs Benedict?
Sweet Hollandaise.
Sweet Hollandaise. Yes. Hollandaise.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Does Hollandaise really show up anywhere else?
I don't know.
That's all I know. I mean, I've seen it on asparagus.
Occasionally on a steak. They'll offer that as a accoutrement to a steak.
But to Ted's point, I wonder if they do offer that like on your steak or on your asparagus, if they also have Eggs Benedict. I feel like you wouldn't bother to make Hollandaise unless you also offer an Eggs Benedict. Then you can put it on other stuff.
Mm-hmm. But most steakhouses do not serve breakfast.
That is correct.
So they're just making it for that and that only. Because they're a steakhouse. That's it.
Big Dummy.
Hello, Chad. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and horse.
Liquor and horse.
Chad, sober, not sober?
Sober, driving home.
Chad, what are you doing on our men's room poll? Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
Well, I don't have to guess because she already has flatulence. Her favorite thing is to come and fart in the aisle at the grocery store and then ask me to come over and look at something and walk away.
I like her already, man.
All right.
That's a keeper.
Is that what you're going to pick?
Yes.
Okay.
So she, honest to God, she'll fart in the aisle, call you over to look at it, and just let you stew in her stink?
Yeah, she'll literally be like, hey, check this out. Can you look up at the top and see if it's up there? Because I'm way taller than her. And then she walks away and I start smelling. I'm like, dang it, there it goes again.
There's a very good chance that me and your wife were separated at birth.
Does she really need the item, is the question.
No, she does not.
Okay.
Normally she's just like, I think it's up there.
I like her. All right, here's your question. What is the most common element in the universe?
Gosh, it would be, I don't know. I'm just going to say carbon.
Hydrogen?
Hydrogen. Look at Ted with the big space brain.
Space stuff.
Space brain.
Space nerd.
Ted the space brain.
Generally, if somebody said their brain was spacey,
you got the Star Trek question right, too. So
wow.
Yeah,
Star Trek.
Yeah.
All the things.
All right, your question. What snack product is known as Cool America flavor in countries outside of the United States?
Oh, wow. What'd you say was a dessert?
No, it's a snack product known as Cool America flavor in countries outside of the U.S.
I think there's a hint kind of in there.
There is.
Yeah, would it be Cool Ranch Doritos?
Bam!
Yeah. Is it specifically Doritos? Or is it just Cool Ranch?
No, specifically Doritos.
Okay.
If you leave this country, it's Cool America flavor.
Doritos might own that, because there's ranch, but I don't know if there's another Cool Ranch outside of Cool Ranch Doritos.
I think you're right. I think that's a trademark name.
Yeah, because Hidden Valley,
they technically own ranch.
No, anything could be. There's other ranches.
There's other ranches.
Right.
I thought like they trademarked the name ranch or something like that, and technically, you couldn't call your ranch dressing or something.
Somebody said a theory, but I don't think it's wrong.
Okay.
I gotta say this though, Hidden Valley's the best.
Oh,
if someone tries to make their own ranch, I'm like, oh God, this is terrible.
Right.
This is not
just
right.
buy Hidden Valley. Don't make it yourself.
Yes. More Big Dummy coming up, 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Head chef coming up. Ted's Meat and Potatoes has the most popular hangover foods in each and every state across the USA. In the meantime, the game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, David. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. David, are you sober or not sober?
Well, I had surgery yesterday, so I'm smoking my pain meds.
Okay, not sober. All right, David, men's room poll. Your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
I'm going to go with flatulence.
Flatulence. All right. All right.
I guess you can't complain about me.
I see. Not a bad call. Well played. Well played.
All right, David, here's your question. Who won an Oscar for the portrayal of a young dancer in the movie Black Swan?
No idea. I did not watch that movie. I don't even know who was in it.
I thought the movie was about Lynn Swan.
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman, yes.
Took me a second.
Yeah, thank you. All right. What military alliance did the United States...
He was a ballerina as well.
That's right.
Training.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn Swan, former Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver. Yeah, with former ballet dancer.
Ballet training or something. That's why his feet were so good and he could stay in bounds.
One of his most famous catches looks like a ballet move.
It really does. Hard to defend, it turns out. All right, your question. What military alliance did the United States join in 1949?
NATO.
One and done.
No, it's two.
Oh, it's two and done.
Yes.
Two and done. Yes, I can't count it.
He missed the Lynn Swan card. That's right.
Dummy!
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Joe, are you sober or not sober?
I'm sober. I'm driving.
Okay. I hear you. What is your significant other have? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
I'll go cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed for the win.
All right, here's your question. The character Daria first appeared in what other animated TV series?
Is that the classic Beavis and Butthead?
Damn.
That's one
and done. Well done, man.
Yes.
All right, we have our nursery rhyme characters, true or false questions for you. True or false, the three blind mice were not actually blind. They just said they were so that they could stare at hot chicks.
I'm
think it's true, and I think they're like those beggars on the street with the cops that aren't really blind.
You got it. That's how they got their start.
Blind mice.
They weren't blind.
No.
They just went to the beach and stared at hot chicks in bikinis, man.
3 swindlers.
I can walk.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Big Dummy!
Praise Jesus.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the men's room.
Yeah, can I get some burger sauce?
All right.
Are you sober or not sober?
Sober, time out.
All right, Justin.
Last time Justin called, he was
ordering a Burger Master.
We were very amazed by your politeness, by the way, Justin. All right, your significant other.
It's all treated for the church and just treat their life.
What are you taking on the poll? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or cross-eyed?
Flatulence, because I've been growing up with that my entire life.
Okay.
All right, here's your question. Which Game of Thrones star was nominated for an Emmy for every single season the show was on?
Which show again?
Game of Thrones. Any guesses?
I want to say it's the actress that plays Cersei, but I don't remember her name.
Either way, it doesn't matter. It was Peter Dinklage. Yeah.
Oh, Peter Dinklage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He is the only person who's won an award that is 33% as tall as he is. Go ahead, look at it.
Interesting.
Jesus. I remember, I don't know how many times he won. I know he won at least once. But I remember when they called his name, right? You're on live TV. He wins the Emmy. I don't think he anticipated winning the Emmy. The camera goes to him. He's actively chewing gum. So he pulls it out of his mouth because you got to give a speech, right? Mm-hmm. Looks around, just hands it to his wife.
That's fair.
Yeah, she just puts out her hand, he hands it to her, goes up on stage and does his thing. All right, your question. How many playing pieces does each player begin with in backgammon?
Is that 6?
15.
I can't tell you the last time I played backgammon. I'd have to go over the rules again.
It's been like 5 or 6 years, but I remember the last time I played it, I did enjoy it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I don't know that I've ever played it.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, your question. Which member of the Sex Pistols died of a drug overdose?
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I went through a bad area real quick. I have no idea of any of the members.
Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious. Sid and Nancy. All right, your question, Justin. Which major river runs through Cairo?
The Nile.
There you go. You got it. There you go.
You be all correct.
Mm-hmm. Game is Big Dummy, 206-803-ROD.
Hello, Marshall. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Hola. Marshall, are you sober or not sober?
I'm sober here at work.
All right, Marshall, welcome to Big Dummy. What are you taking on the men's room poll there? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or cross-eyed?
Cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed. Man, man.
Everybody's taking it.
All right, here's your question. Jennifer Garner and Bradley Cooper both got their big breaks on what TV show?
Is that the Freaks and Geeks?
Nope.
Who was it again?
Jennifer Garner and Bradley Cooper. They were both on the same show together.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. It was
it was a pretty good show. Alias. That is correct.
Oh, I never heard of that show.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, man. It really wasn't. All right. In what movie does Tom Hanks play a character named Chuck Noland?
Chuck Nolan?
Chuck Noland.
God, I thought I'm all time. Chuck Nolan. That's Teachers in Seattle, maybe?
Castaway.
Chuck Nolan.
I didn't know he had a fishing movie.
All right, Marshall. In what city did Anne Frank write her diary?
That's Berlin.
Amsterdam.
Yeah.
What is going on at your job, Marshall?
Sorry, the fork was going by. I'm sorry. I'll move away from this.
All right, the question. What band was the focus of the documentary Rattle and Hum?
I've never even heard of that. I have no idea.
Okay.
AC/DC?
U2. Huh. When did that come out? Was it like early 2000s, late 90s?
No, that was probably early 90s.
I mean, it's been a hot minute since I think
because that was that was Rattle and Hum.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, your question. What does NORAD stand for?
You have these hard questions today. I have no idea.
Marshall,
hold on, North? No, I don't know.
I don't think there's such thing as a hard question for you, man.
Yeah, he's usually one and done. This is a different week.
Hey, none of these questions in my wheelhouse, so, I have no idea.
It would be the North American Air Defense Command.
Why is it NORAD then? Because it sounds like it should be in there.
Yeah, why is it NORAD?
That's what I was trying to get through.
I don't know.
Why do they pronounce
the same thing? Like, why do they call it? Well, like today, I'm looking up something, and it said an EKG, right? The electrocardiogram. There's no K anywhere in the word.
Yeah. Interesting. I think we're at question 5, Marshall.
6, I believe.
All right, I'll give you then 6.
Look, Miles is stupid. You're smart, so I'm going to go with you.
I believe you, Marshall.
We believe Marshall more than we believe ourselves. That's correct. All right, here's your question. Who replaced Michael Keaton as Batman?
Wouldn't that be Val Kilmer?
That would.
Yes, it would be.
The Iceman.
All right, Marshall, that might be the longest we've ever talked.
I know. It's nice to get to know you.
You know what the difference is? He was at work. When he has a little liquor in him, he's smarter.
Crown Royal straight up. My man knows what's going on.
Like a man. Game is Big Tummy 206-803, Rock.
A grown-ass man.
Grown-ass man.
Yes. Grown-ass man.
I stole that line and used it last Sunday.
What was the
after
situation?
our event? I don't know if you heard me say, the guy, I don't know if you're still there, I ordered a sandwich to go. He goes, you want fries or tots? I said, I'm a grown man. Fries.
We call that the Marshall effect. I'm a grown-ass man.
What about a child eating tots?
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
John, are you on team sober or team's not sober?
Well, let me like this.
What was that?
I said, let me light that. I just lit one.
Gotcha, John.
Okay.
Gotcha, John. Okay, sorry.
Right.
All right, your significant other has constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or is cross-eyed?
I had one with chronic flatulence, and that wasn't no fun. I'll go with cross-eyed.
Cross-eyed.
You said you dated a chick who had chronic flatulence?
Yeah.
How long did you date this woman?
About 7 years.
7 years. And just like the whole time you're with her, like farts were just part of the deal?
Usually it happened at night, and I'd have to go sleep in the other room, so.
Damn. Okay. That's bad.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody let us know, so cardio is spelled with a K in German. Electrocardiogram was invented by a German. Therefore, it is EKG. Thank you for clearing that up, because I was looking at that like, how the hell? All right, here's your question. The Catskill Mountains are part of what larger mountain range?
Catskills would be Adirondack?
Appalachian?
Yep. Appalachian Mountains.
Oh, I was close.
All right, your question. What country did the Pilgrims go to before coming to America? France, Portugal, Switzerland, or the Netherlands?
I'll say Portugal.
That's where I would have gone, given all those choices. Yeah. They went to the Netherlands for 12 years before they came to the U.S.
And they just said, this place sucks too.
The truth is, everyone kept booting them out.
Oh, okay.
Was the issue. Because England's like, look, man, you guys are a little too, So they rolled out. They go to the Netherlands after 12 years. The Netherlands is like, okay, we see what England's talking about. Like, why don't you go to the New World, see what you can do there.
Yeah, cross that ocean.
Yeah. We'll see you. It's been great having you. Get the hell out.
Don't let the door hit you.
All right. Your question. On the TV show Sex and the City, which of the 4 main characters had a baby? Carrie, Samantha, Charlotte, or Miranda? And yes, I had to look up their names.
Man, I've never even watched that show. I don't know. Just to be honest, I don't know.
I'll just throw a name out there. You got Carrie, Samantha, Charlotte, or Miranda?
Carrie.
I'll say Miranda.
Miranda.
I was close.
That makes sense. From what I remember that show, she was kind of the least risque one and traditional valued.
Is she the short-haired one? Redhead chick?
No. Oh. Jesus, I don't know. I shouldn't have talked about that show.
Oh, it's too late. You've opened Pandora's box of Sex in the City hate. You idiot. All right, your question. In the nursery rhyme, The Cat and the Fiddle, what runs away with the spoon?
Oh, God. Diddle, 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 the cat and the fiddle. And not the plate. Not the cow.
Now, the cow ran off with Becky.
Geez, man. What ran? The fork?
Mouse?
The dish. Come on, man. The fork wasn't into that stuff.
I said plate. I said plate.
You said plate, but then you pulled back and said, no, it wasn't the plate.
Yeah. Damn it.
All right, what actor is the oldest man to win People Magazine's Sexiest Man Alive? Was it Jack Nicholson, Sean Connery, Al Pacino, or Marlon Brando?
Sean Connery.
Yes, of course it was.
That is correct. Nice one. Game is Big Dummy 206-803 round.
Hello, Craig. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola. Oh, by the way, Ted, somebody here says, Ted is thinking about Charlotte. Charlotte was always prim and proper. You dumbass.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Fool.
Craig, are you sober or not sober?
Stupid. Phone dong.
I think he's gone.
I think it just... You got to be kidding me. All right, so all the phone lines just dropped.
Oh, no.
We pulled them up, yeah.
All right, well, Ted and I will play. That'll be fun.
Oh, boy. All right.
I'll be one and done, so don't worry about it.
Okay, you guys want to take turns on that? So I'll go to you for our
Yeah, I'll be one and done.
Let's get it, Montgomery.
All right, game on.
And I'm going in order of the questions.
Yeah.
So you're not going to be one and done. I'm convinced.
Does that mean it's going to be a hard question?
I don't think this is in your wheelhouse.
I see. Then thanks for starting it out with me.
Well, sorry, man. You said you're going to be one and done. So what is the name of the dragon in The Hobbit?
Are you freaking kidding me?
No, dude, that was the next question.
Hey.
What is the name of the dragon in your helmet?
Oh, Larry.
Larry the dragon. So close.
All right, one question. All right, give me another.
Smog. Voiced by... He's Doctor Strange. Benedict Cumberbatch. The actor with the greatest name ever.
I don't have to laugh every time, but I do.
All right, Ted, one for you.
All right.
What is the largest city in Wales?
Cardiff.
Oh.
Did you know the answer to that?
Oh, no.
Dude, that is the order.
No,
that is the order. That's the question.
He watches soccer all the time.
Hey, man.
I mean, come on. You give me a Hobbit question?
Mike knows The Hobbit. If I'd asked you that, did you hear the question?
That.
No, I did not.
What was the question?
The question I asked Miles, what is the name of the dragon in The Hobbit?
It's not a hobbit, but the dragon was Smog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See?
Mike knew the largest city in Wales.
Yeah, Cardiff. Who doesn't know that, Miles?
One and done. Hey, Ruth, sometimes you got to hit the ball. You can't just point.
Hello, Tony. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Tony, on team sober or team not sober?
Team not sober. You just saw me about an hour. I mean, team sober, that is. You saw me about an hour ago.
Oh, yeah.
Tony, that was you. All right. They came upstairs.
Right,
they were
Tony.
like, we met this dude. He said he met you at a festival. And I was thinking, that's got to be Tony.
That was Tony.
All right.
Tony came up to us outside. He said, hey, guys, I work in this building sometimes. I want to know what you guys do based on the way you're dressed. So we understand the inherent insult. Like, do these guys actually have a job, or do they just hang out in the building?
Yes. All right, Tony with a sweet...
Just yelling.
Yeah. Tony with a sweet stash. What does your significant other have? Constant flatulence, chronic halitosis, IBS, or cross-eyed?
We're going cross-eyed because everything else smells bad.
All right.
That is true. You ever call your mustache the flavor saver, the womb broom?
No, I just call it Tiny Tony.
Tiny Tony. Okay.
TT.
How many people think you're talking about your penis if you bring up Tiny Tony?
Oh, no, that's really Tiny Tony.
Not to be confused with teeny Tiny Tony. All right.
You see, Mike, I'm telling you, I met Tony at that festival. We spent all day hanging out.
All right. All right, Tony, here's your question. In a deck of cards, what is the King of Diamonds holding?
A scepter?
He's holding his crotch. No, actually, he's holding an axe.
Okay.
Did you ever play that game that involved that? The poker game?
What do you mean?
Like deuces, jacks, king with the axe,
God.
a pair of natural sevens takes everything.
Years ago, man. I mean, it had to be like 30 years ago, but yeah. All right. All right, your question, multiple choice. Macbeth, The Tempest, Hamlet, or Romeo and Juliet? Which Shakespeare play introduced the phrase, knock, knock, who's there?
The Tempest.
You fool! Obviously it was a Macbeth. The original knock, knock joke.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock, who's there?
It's a comedy.
Is it?
I don't know.
They
Half
always
of
said
Shakespeare
that.
stuff was
Yeah.
comedy is what they say, but I never got the joke.
They call it comedy. I'm like, but to me, comedy is something that makes me laugh, not something that
Right.
puts me to sleep.
Who beeth there?
Who beeth there? Yeah. Knocketh, knocketh. Oh, it's me, Ted.
Interrupting bovine.
You know, Mike Tyson would have loved living back in those days.
Yeah.
End everything with a TH. Knocketh, knocketh.
Shakespeare, the first guy to do Ding Dong Ditch.
Right.
Oh, no.
It was called Dingeth, Dongeth.
Ditcheth.
Dingeth, Dongeth, Ditcheth. All right, your question. Which was first? Columbus's voyage to the New World, Machu Picchu, or Oxford University?
Machu Picchu.
Oxford University. Followed by Columbus, followed by Machu Picchu.
I got it backwards. Okay.
You might be dyslexic. Dyslexic memory.
Yeah, that's it.
The Benjamin Button. I was born today. I'm just getting younger. All right, your question. What auto manufacturer also has its own brand of sausage?
Sausage?
That is, I know. It's hard to put them together. But yes, it is an auto manufacturer, but
Think about it.
They also produce sausage.
Yeah.
And they sell, they always said to sell more
Volkswagen?
sausage than cars. I'm like, well, yeah, sausage is cheaper. What was your guess?
Volkswagen.
There you go.
No kidding.
So apparently in Germany, man, like the Volkswagen sausage is a sought after thing.
I'll be damned.
I know, you just don't think like, well, we do cars and sausage.
The people's sausage.
I mean, that's pretty German, though.
That is very German.
Yes.
You know, I mean, it'd be like if Ford or Chevy sold hamburgers.
Or hot dogs, all right. No, cool. Got a Chevy dog.
Speaking of sausage, head chef coming up. Ted's Meat Potatoes has the most popular hangover foods across the good old USA. You are listening to The Men's Room.
For 25 years, Stamps.com has made mailing and shipping easy. All you need is a computer and printer. Imagine mailing and shipping right from your desk, anytime. No traffic, no waiting, no hassle. Plus, Stamps.com gives you discounts up to 84%. Sign up for Stamps.com today. Use code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, plus postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code PROGRAM.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Melvin Robert from the TV show Extra. Every day on our show, we talk to the biggest celebrities and the biggest newsmakers around. We get exclusive details about hookups and breakups, baby news, and the behind-the-scenes info from your favorite TV shows and movies. But we can only fit so much on our show. That's where Extra the Podcast comes in. Listen and follow Extra the Podcast and Odyssey Podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from The Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Head chef on the way. Ted's Meat and Potatoes has the most popular hangover foods across the USA. But first time for a few emails for the Men's Room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Jump right into the birthdays. Sup, bitches? It's my 34th today, and I know no one's going to give me a shout out, so I want to give myself some gratification. How about some shotgun gets, a cat fart, and Coach Ted telling me how to prep for birthday sex? Fan for life, go Dolphins. That from Taylor, not Tyler. Get.
Oh my gosh.
Get.
All right, birthday sex, Taylor. That's a pretty simple one. Actually, some of the best birthday sex already happened because it's the afternoon. You should have got it in this morning. If not, tonight you introduce something sexual, tasty into that bedroom. You covered, honey.
Guys, can we get a birthday shout out for our island brother co-worker Lars? It is his 37th birthday. How about a big old bong hit? And the Dirty German's talking about how he works with rare hardwoods all day. From his fellow miter heads, Aaron and Ryan. Thanks, guys. We listen to daily podcasts while working on Geems Island. Guemes Island? Mike? No, I don't know. Right, well, small islands out there in the Puget Sound. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you work with hardwoods. That means you know what you're doing with your hands.
See, I feel bad for this guy as it only has rare hardwoods.
Yeah.
You should talk to the doctor.
All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you. BG.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's world famous sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Think about a couple extra emails. Actually, this is a letter. An actual
letter. Look at that. Look at that.
It's a letter.
Look at that.
Oh, my God.
What is that?
Where did that come from?
I don't know.
An envelope.
To
jail?
Yes. No, it did not come from jail.
That's what's amazing.
All right.
Yeah, because it's not folded in an envelope. It has a stamp on it that's already been read. Dear Men's Room, for the last 10 years, I've dedicated thousands upon thousands of hours of every work shift, house chore, and commute to listening to every podcast you guys put out, exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Wait for it.
Yes. Give it to Ted. He's been putting out an extra 2 hours of hilarity and a couple of minutes of seriousness every week for almost the whole time I've been listening. I'm sure he's talking about the podcast.
And the Megacast.
Yeah, talk about being ahead of the curve. Working first at Umanja as a fishmonger, eventually moving on to be a meat cutter at several large grocery stores. I've been lucky enough to have the time to invest in your show. I have not missed a single podcast, although I'm always about 2 months out. Truth be told, I'm worried that I'll miss out on one of the running jokes that are commonplace on your show. Such examples that I can come up with off the top of my head are the person who complained that you guys talk all over each other, and now you do it almost every show during birthdays. The weird guy that called you dinosaurs. When green beans made its way from a Thanksgiving sit and spin to a soundbite to a very stylish T-shirt, and the touching meaning behind for Aletha's sake. I'll thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You've always made me laugh. Since Ted's Year of the Hustle, I've been toying around with writing a novel. Writing has always been something I've enjoyed. Unfortunately, because of my alcoholism, I never had a focus or drive to do it. I remember once hearing that if you guys give an interview to a guy that put your beer in his book, and I told myself if I ever did write a novel, I would just put I wouldn't just put your beer in my book. I'd write the entire Men's Room radio show into it. So I got sober and I wrote my book. My first ever novel, and you guys are featured as one of the most pivotal points. The apocalypse happens live on KISW. So, guys, here are copies of $1 Soul. One for each person on the Men's Room. And the Men's Room radio show has been an integral part of my adult life. I'm grateful for you guys for that. Thank you guys for everything you do. I look forward to dedicating thousands of hours more to a show that I hope reflects the same kind of humor that I aspire to, including in my novel. Note, I wrote about penises and drugs an alarming amount. Sincerely, guys, that from Spencer Cromwell, who also sent us some delicious candies and each a bottle of Old Bay hot sauce.
Deeply appreciated.
Which is greatly appreciated. And congratulations, Spencer, on getting that printed and put out. And thanks for the copies, man. We definitely appreciate it.
I got a flight tomorrow. I will break it open on the plane.
He says he's down in Coos Bay, and I drive through there at least once a year. So if I'm ever in the area, man, I'll hook you up and buy you a beer. So
the Old Bay hot sauce is great, and I was kind of getting low on my other bottle.
I'm quite happy to have it.
Yes.
I will say that.
On the subject of food that traumatized you as a kid. My father would make us enjoy dinners based on his bar crawl food. Potted meat food sandwiches. Not even equal to deviled ham. We're talking Vienna sausages and that nasty animal jelly. Sardines and saltine crackers. Amazing, he died at 60. That from Brian. What else? Meal that traumatized me as a kid. It's a bit of an oddball, but it's any time I've ever had canned green beans. Those gross, slimy, somehow coarse, yet mushy beans make me gag every single time I've had them. If green beans are fresh, they are cooked in some way. I have absolutely no issues. You know what? I also don't have an issue of the green beans that the companies make for, say, Bloody Marys.
Right, those big long ones.
For whatever reason, those are really good. I could snack on those all day. Like the Bloody Mary green beans, put in the...
Yeah. You know, I bet if you went to like a Total Wine or something, they probably sell them in there.
Oh, yeah, without question.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Right, because they have more.
Yeah, Bevmo does it. There's green beans right there for you. From your podcast on the Odyssey app, the subject medical diagnosis.
Okay.
Hola, guys. My diagnosis a few years ago was Stevens-Johnson syndrome.
Stevens-Johnson, your penis got bigger.
Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Don't Google the pics. Basically, it's an allergic reaction that causes every square inch of your skin to shed like a snake.
Oh.
It does not happen all at once. It takes about a week or two for it all to fall off. It's your scalp, it's your face, it's everywhere, and yes, even in those places.
Oh, boy.
By the way, a few places, they shed twice. They told me afterward it's a life-threatening condition. I had renal failure of the kidneys at the same time, and I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. They said it was caused by an antibiotic allergy. Could have developed from antibiotics fed to beef. That from Hopman. And one more on our random question. And this goes back a few weeks. Catching up on the podcast on the Odyssey app regarding the question, what did you or your sibling get in trouble for? When my brother and I were kids, we lived in Vegas for a while. Growing up, we were latchkey kids, so we often went home alone. And once my little brother started first grade, that was a daily occurrence. One day, while we were home on track break from year-round school, we decided on a over 100-degree day that we would drop eggs off of our balcony of our apartments. Not thinking anything about it, we left them and went inside. Later that day, our dad comes home and just so happens to walk that path to the stairs leading to our door. Well, the eggs had dropped and had completely fried to the concrete. And as our punishment, we had to go out there and scrape the eggs and shells off the concrete. I'm currently, guys, living back in Vegas. And at 7:20 a.m., it is 102 degrees.
Jesus.
Yesterday, it was 115. Coming up, we'll drink a toast with a shot of the day, but first...
Time to open wide and sample Ted's meat and potatoes. Now, here's your host, head chef of the men's room, the Ted Nugent.
Head chef is in the house.
Thank you, folks. Thank you. You know, the old head chef's been known to have a beverage himself.
You don't say.
Yeah. Sometimes it gets hung over, and there's a lot of different foods people enjoy. I think some people have like a go-to hangover meal. To me, it kind of depends on the day of the week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
If it's a Sunday, you probably have different options. You might go to a brunch. You might go to a diner, something like that. During the week, I know if I'm really hurting, there's one place I could walk down the street and actually get a BLT with bacon that's not microwaved. And like that.
That's a game changer. Do they put avocado on that?
Not at this place.
Okay.
Only because I don't think they have avocados.
Yeah, it's at the place right on, like, basically across the street from you, essentially.
Just down across where the old Subway was. It's in a parking garage.
Oh, okay. So you know it's good.
Yeah.
Look, man, if you're hungover and I see a restaurant in a parking garage, I'm like, that is the place to probably go.
Pull over.
I have a buddy that his building's right down there, and one of his friends that he works with goes there every day for lunch. They're supposed to have, cool. They have other Asian delicacies.
I've walked by it a million times. I've never been in.
Get in. So this is kind of state by state, more region. So there's a few states on here, but regionally. Which region would you like to start with? The West Coast, Rocky Mountains, Southwest?
How about the Rocky Mountains?
Rocky Mountain region. All right.
Omelets.
They included 6 different states there, but they only came up with one famous hangover food, and that is the Idaho-style finger steaks.
Finger steaks.
Yeah, they're strips of steak that are battered and deep fried.
Okay.
So try, like, there's steak tips and this and that, but some places you just get like steak strips.
Yeah,
like as an appetizer.
So they're basically like the size of French fries, I guess, but it's steak instead of potato.
Correct. They're just going to be a little thicker because they're steak.
Steak, sure.
Oh, looking at them right now.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that before.
That looks really, and it looks like a good hangover food.
It does.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like that again. I should say too, this list. A lot of this is kind of there's a thin line or same line between drunk food and hangover food. Because you're right, that looks like good hangover food. That also looks like something you want to eat if you're sitting in that bar watching football.
Or it could be a preventative situation too. Like you could either have a hangover or you're trying to kill one before it gets too bad.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good meal to eat before you start. Really, if you know you're going to pound down the drinks.
Oh yeah. Again, a lot of times I think food when you're drinking just involves where you are. Because you can go to a nice restaurant, have some cocktails or whatever, depending on what kind of bar you're in and if there's sports on. I mean, like, there's one bar I used to go to all the time. And, like, if football was on, we would just order the greasiest whatever stuff they had. If not, we would just get normal food.
Right.
All right, let's try the Northeast. I showed this to Mike earlier. He was not familiar with it. One of my favorite products in the world, pork roll.
Okay.
New Jersey, they love the pork roll sandwich. I would say also made famous by, the band Ween. Pork roll, egg, and cheese.
Yeah. Ween. I don't even know the last time I've heard that name.
Essentially fried bologna on a sandwich. Back to the BLT, just sort of replace the bacon with the
It is. And Mike was asking me what pork roll is. Like, I grew up eating Taylor ham. It's basically just fancier Spam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
It kind of smells the same. In Massachusetts, do you know what their hangover go-to is?
Lobster rolls.
Is it lobster rolls?
No. Come on, what's more Massachusetts than that?
Chowder.
Dunkin'.
Dunkin'.
Okay.
Dunkin'.
Yeah.
Just anything
Dunkin'.
from Dunkin'.
Connecticut, New York City. I love this one. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel. Upstate New York is the garbage plate.
Yep.
Which, again, you lived up there. I don't know if the garbage plate is for the next day or just like, I'm hammered. Let's get a garbage plate.
It is both of those. It is both of those things. It is a late night meal or it is the, oh, God, we drank too much last night meal.
All right, let's see. In the South and Southeast, I mean, you can pretty much guess this one. Again, in Georgia, most of the South, Waffle House.
Yep. And again, that's a place people go when they're hammered. It's a place where people go when they're hungover.
Biscuits show up a lot on the list here, too. So if you're in North Carolina, they want to go to Bojangles. They like their biscuits.
Ooh, that's a strong call.
Also, good fried chicken.
They do. And honestly, last time I was in Bojangles, because I was in Winston-Salem. And I'm pretty sure you can just get 2 biscuits that have like cinnamon and butter on them or something.
Yeah, your best opportunity to go to a Bojangles if you ever had a layover in Atlanta. They've got one in the airport.
Let's see. But over in South Carolina, they like Callie's biscuits.
Callie's? I don't know that I know Callie's.
I don't know that name either. I'm guessing it's kind of regional to there. There's a noodle soup in Louisiana called yakameen.
Really?
Yeah.
Soup when I'm hungover does not sound like my go-to.
Well, pho, it's...
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I will say this. There's a lot of... most of my Asian friends that I know, they eat a very hot, spicy soup if they're that hungover.
Really? Like sweat it out kind of thing?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Let's see. Miles, West Virginia.
It's either going to be Tudor's biscuits or pepperoni rolls.
Pepperoni rolls. You nailed it earlier with Kentucky. It's the hot brown.
The hot brown.
All right.
What exactly is the hot brown?
It's an open-faced meat sandwich smothered in cheese sauce. Basically, it's like a piece of bread. They put on like thick turkey, like you've carved it off the bird.
Yeah.
And then they cover I think a tomato or 2 tomatoes and then cheese sauce.
Okay.
It's also very famous at the Kentucky Derby. When that race starts up, you'll hear about the hot brown, and then, of course, you'll hear about the mint julep.
Mint julep, yep.
All right, what about the Midwest? All right, look, Wisconsin, you're going to know it again. Good drunk food, hangover.
Cheese curds?
Cheese curds. I would assume if they're eating them hungover, probably fried. And as somebody that's been to Milwaukee, you can't get a Bloody Mary without one.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I'm not a huge Bloody Mary guy. Wisconsin, especially Milwaukee, that town does it correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it was very good. Miles, again, you're on fire today. In Ohio, it's the Cincinnati chili.
It's Skyline chili.
Yep. In Nebraska, it's the Runza sandwiches.
The hell is that?
They say they're kind of like a hot pocket filled with ground beef, onion, and sauerkraut.
Doesn't sound bad.
You know what? Yeah, I'd kill that. So that sounds like a very good
Anything in a
food.
pocket typically is pretty good.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a picture of it. It does look pretty damn good.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, that looks like that looks like a cheesesteak in a pepperoni roll. Wow, that looks really good.
Let's see. We're going over the most famous hangover foods across the U.S. In the Southwest, we'll start in Texas. If anybody's ever been to Texas, you know people love
barbecue.
Breakfast tacos.
Oh, all right. Well, that too. Well, you take the leftover barbecue and you just put it in the taco, right?
I mean, look, you're not wrong. I think that's how a lot of it starts, is you have leftover brisket and everything.
Sure.
But like my buddy Cobb for the podcast, he's down in Austin now, and he's like, you have no idea that like the top 2 things in that town are barbecue and the breakfast tacos.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, and once you go there, you live on them. They love them. Oklahoma, they go to Ron's Hamburger and Chili. That makes sense. New Mexico, Huevos Rancheros.
Okay.
And Sonoran hot dogs in Arizona. That's a hot dog with pinto beans, tomatoes, salsa, and other toppings. And then when we go out west, the last little region there, California, breakfast burritos, which personally, breakfast burrito is one of my go-to hungover meals.
It is a solid hangover dish, yeah.
Hawaii, it's that loco moco, the rice and gravy with a burger patty and an egg on top.
Good stuff.
Thank you, Head Chef. Shot of the Day is coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
The Federal Air Marshal Service offers expert training, diverse teams, and meaningful work. They're currently hiring air marshals in cities around the U.S. No law enforcement experience is required. The challenge will be demanding, but the rewards are lasting. Join a mission that matters and help protect the traveling public. Visit jobs.tsa.gov to apply. That's jobs.tsa.gov.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up in minutes, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check out with Mike Hollick and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, 62% of Americans drink alcohol.
Okay.
That's the number.
So I'm guessing 62% of Americans are 21 or over.
Yeah.
That's and everybody's like,
or not.
Man, that's an oddly high number. It's fairly consistent and kind of down.
It's like 6 out of 10 people, assuming they're adults. That seems like a low number to me.
Exactly.
33% are in Wisconsin.
Guess what? There's people find different ways and different outlets to just get through life.
Yeah, that's true.
Alcohol's one.
That is one of them, yes.
Is it the healthiest? Probably not. Oh, well.
Oh, well.
Live and let.
It's fun.
It's also just, I don't know, like drugs and alcohol to me are kind of together. Mm-hmm. But alcohol, by far, is just the drug that's much more widely accepted and served everywhere.
Exactly.
Yes, it is.
A back-to-school study concluded that middle school is harder on students that aren't attractive or athletic.
Well, yeah.
We had to do a study?
Oh, yeah.
That generally applies through most of life.
What I want to know about this study is who had the job of all right, which kids are attractive?
Yeah, it is a weird thing to say.
You made that terribly creepy.
I did, man. I did. But also, I kind of want those kids to look at the grades like, oh, man, I wasn't an attractive kid. I mean, I know I'm not the best looking, but damn.
I mean, you just
I don't know. They're just saying it's harder on them.
Right.
They still get good grades.
Sure.
And I'm guessing you probably don't ask, like, hey, your kid's ugly in middle school. I'm assuming they polled somebody and somebody went, yes, I was not popular in middle school.
Yeah, you're probably talking to adults reflecting back on their life.
And middle school's tough, dude. Like, I played baseball, but, I did not have a ton of friends in middle school. I was oddly quiet.
It was a weird transitionary time in our schooling careers.
Yeah.
Shake Shack is looking to pay someone $3,000 to be their chief avocado officer.
Avocado officer.
You bet.
All right.
What is Shake Shack doing with an avocado?
That's exactly what I wondered, Miles.
A burger, maybe?
I've eaten plenty of Shake Shack, and there's not a whole lot of avocado there.
Maybe they're going to start adding it to the burgers.
Maybe. And there might be a burger. I get the regular Shack burger, so I don't branch out.
I don't know why that's funny.
I'm sure they got a wild and crazy avocado burger in there, but not the one I'm eating. But you know what?
Oh, yeah, they do, dude. They have an avocado bacon burger.
Fantastic.
I'm a huge fan of that.
Oh, right. That's a lot of extras on there that some people might find to be an extra, a waste of money, if you will.
All right.
And the list continues.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
The 10 biggest wastes of money, according to people. Here's one I don't think is a waste. A full-size crew cab 4x4 Chevrolet 2500 HD Duramax diesel. Sure, it screams I have a small penis, and I don't care that that's true. I also have a fantastic voice. Just ask me. You can't put a voice like mine in a subcompact hybrid electric go-kart. My vanity just won't stand that humiliation. I'll take what comes with my greatness. I weep for the rest of you.
He's not usually that self-serving.
Yeah. He likes that truck, though.
He does like that truck. And you know what? It's a nice truck. I've ridden in that truck. It's a good truck. But these are the biggest wastes of money, according to people. I'm sure that we won't have any thoughts on their takes here. But alcohol does show up on the list, which It says drinking booze is not only the biggest waste of time and money, but also one of the most detrimental to a person's overall health, which I disagree. There's plenty of things that I can waste money on that are much more detrimental to my health.
Like cigarettes, for example.
Hold that thought, Mr. Hill.
Oh.
I mean, look, I love going out and having drinks, but I can see why it's on the list.
Sure. And I have a problem with this because no matter what you spend your money on when it comes to fun, somebody else can see that as a waste of money.
Sure.
Look, there's people that'll go down to Disneyland, and other peoples will consider that to be a waste of money. It's overpriced, it's not worth it, you're going to stand in lines, blah, 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 blah. Somebody who doesn't find what you find to be fun
thinks it's a waste of money.
Correct.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
And you know what? I like going to the bar. I like being at home and just getting wasted. I like grabbing a case from Costco, going home and throwing a party. So
I will drink anywhere, anytime.
You bet.
And I'm never a waste of money. Yeah, I'm in a better mood for it.
As long as it puts a smile on your face and the rest of your bills are paid,
yes, the rest of your bills are paid. That is important.
That is solid.
They put premium garbage bags on there, which I don't know what a premium garbage bag is, but
one that doesn't hopefully rip.
Sure.
Is that premium?
Yeah.
Or like the ones that stretch a little bit?
Overly stretchy, maybe
they have the
scented.
smell. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think I'm spending money on that. But I don't go through a ton of them.
Right.
Right.
You know? Also, look, if you don't take the trash out for 3 or 4 days, it helps to at least keep the stink down.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know.
You hate this list in general. I can tell already.
I already hate this list, Ted. I don't like this list.
The hell with this list.
Because Cars is on the list. I don't think there's anything more expensive and depreciates more quickly than a car. It's so damn expensive to keep on the road as well. There's a lot of people who don't need it but think that they need one. I live doggone 45 minutes away.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, granted, I do bus on the way up here, but I do need the car to be able to get to the bus stop.
Or go grocery shopping, etc., etc.
Correct.
Cars
it's not
are also
a waste of money, but yeah, obviously they're overpriced. Obviously they depreciate all this stuff.
Right.
And you recognize that when you buy it.
Sure.
But that's how it works.
And if you justify not buying a car by Ubering, you can't say the cars are a waste of money.
Because you're getting in someone else's vehicle.
Exactly.
Well, and also, like,
and spending
cars
money to do it.
Cars are fun.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that like to drive.
Yeah.
It's also, depending what kind of car, if you're a car person, it can be an extension of your personality.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My neighbor bought himself a Corvette. And he takes it down to the track, wherever the hell it is, on the weekends, and guns that bitch with everyone else that has a super fast car.
Sure.
He also owns an electric minivan.
There you go.
Right? So when he's going to work, he's in his electric And the guy is single, so I'm just like, dude, just keep the Corvette.
Whatever puts a smile on your face, man. Movie theater popcorn. Again, these are the biggest wastes of money.
Shut the hell up. Jesus, man.
Well, I have just the movie theater in general.
Yeah, no kidding,
it's all
dude.
expensive, but if I'm going, I'm getting the popcorn.
Right. But they'll always be the first to tell you that. You know where the getch is the popcorn. They're only spending like 25 cents for one of those big-ass buckets.
Well, good for them for getting a profit margin. You don't have to buy it.
Correct. You know what? Stuff all the candy underneath your shirt and pretend like nobody knows. You crinkly ass walking down the doggone hallway. It's my favorite. They're sitting there.
You need a job at the movie theater.
Yeah.
Behind the counter. Oh, my popcorn's too expensive. Take your crinkly ass and just go down there.
Crinkly ass. Astros hat wearing stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. Pop at restaurants. The markup was about 300%. As a chef that's made many menus at many restaurants, I know how to break down the prices.
Well,
and they make more money off of drinks, and not just the alcoholic ones, than food. I always get water.
That's how they get them.
For real. Good job. You don't just not frequent the doggone restaurant. You get the water. And then you buy the crazy overpriced plate, too.
I mean, here's the thing, man. You got to understand that any business that is a business, their goal is to make money. Which means they're going to charge you more than they put into it.
Right.
Because if you don't, it's called a failing business.
Right.
And God forbid there's kids there. I mean, I remember being a kid, and once in a while you couldn't get a soda, and it was like crushing. It was like, why are we even out of the restaurant?
Why are we here if I'm drinking water?
Right. And if you go out with any kid, your kid, the niece, nephew, some random kid you met at Red Robin, like they want a soda.
You know they do.
Right.
Or even a juice.
Why are you eating kids at Red Robin, Ted?
I'm not. I'm just making a joke.
How many kids want a soda?
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle Ted is paying.
If you walked into Red Robin and just announced to all the children in there you're buying soda, you'd be a god.
You would. It's like buying a round of shots for adults at a bar.
Correct.
Commuting to work shows up as the biggest waste of money.
Commuting to work when the job can be done at home. I could care less about eating out or daily Starbucks coffee or the grocery store bill. The majority of expenses come from commuting. You could also care a little bit more about your doggone grammar and your hot takes. I could care less. Shut up.
Well, a lot of people can't work from home.
Correct.
That is correct. That is why they go in to the office.
Right.
Just if you work construction, I'm going to work from home today. Like, you're not.
Right.
You're not working from home today.
Miles worked from home when he had COVID.
Right.
Ted and I both worked from home when we had COVID. Now, was it an absolute S show? No. It was okay. The chemistry was not all there. The timing was completely off.
Right, it messes with what you do.
Right, it messed up the flow. We can't work from home. At least we can't work separately.
No, it throws everything off.
It does.
It really does. And the only thing I would argue about going to work, and I just believe you should not have to pay to park at your own place of employment.
Agreed.
Right, so when you park in this, it's like $3.60 a month or something like that here, and I'm like, that's insane to me. Like, you got to pay for your own gas and all that crap, but you should not have to spend money to pay to be at the place that asked you to come in.
Move your business to a place where it doesn't cost your employees money to park.
Yeah, I just think that. Or
Not only that, it's like considered a perk.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, good news. We're going to give you parking. Oh, thanks.
Because if they give you parking, they basically just gave you $360 a month raise.
Right. That's exactly right.
That's
who else gives me free parking? Jack in the Box. Biggest waste of money, according to people, grass. The amount of time and money people spend manicuring and making their grass look good, not to mention the amount of water people waste watering their lawn, which, you know what, that's fair.
It is fair.
You do. You know what, if all the other lawns are brown, yours looks out of place when it's that green.
Yeah.
I did like working in the lawn, though. It was one of my peaceful places for a while. But
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, right, it could be a waste of money. But for me, at least when summer hits and you just want to get away from the kids for a hot minute, I'm working out in the yard. There's no doubt about it.
Yet again, that puts a smile on your face. That's a project for you to do. That is a place of zen for you to, get away from the
And I can drink the beer that I wasted my money on.
You just stand out there and look at it, yeah, it's done.
Like I said, man, we cleaned our garage last weekend, and we stood there for 10 minutes with our arms folded just staring at it.
Doug?
I'm like, we are getting old.
Yeah, I think some of the things on this list too. It's not damning them. But you know what I mean. You can still do it and like it and be like, well, it is a waste of money.
Mm-hmm. No, it's damning them, Ted. Weddings. The answer should be weddings. It's ridiculous how much you're expected to pay for various products and services associated with the experience. I'll agree with that. If you're ever going to get stuff for the wedding that you can actually get any time of the year,
don't tell them it's for a wedding.
Correct.
Honest to God, man, if you go to a florist and you're going to buy flowers, it's going to cost whatever. If you tell them in advance, this is for my wedding, those prices go.
They bring out the wedding.
We're having a church auction.
Right. Keep it low.
Bingo.
Yeah, we lied. Everything that we bought for our wedding, we lied about.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you tell them, it's going to cost more. It's that simple, man.
And you could also get crazy with the wedding, too. There are those, I've been planning my wedding since I was 12. Cool. And those bills get high.
Mm-hmm.
So, power
like
to you.
We paid for our own wedding because I told my then fiance, now wife, I said, look, because you get different people offering to help. And I said, no, because... And this is true of all things. From the Supreme Court to weddings, if people pay money, they get a say. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hear anyone's suggestion for our wedding. We will cover the cost.
Biggest waste of money.
I always say to people, look, I would never pay for a giant wedding. I think it's ridiculous. And it's like, but I've also never been married. So if that girl's never had one and we want to get married, guess what?
You know what?
Paying for
Ted's out of money.
Whatever you want, honey.
My folks just didn't want to do it. It's like betting on the Browns.
Oh, no. Biggest waste of money, according to people, there's cigarettes on the list. Smoking cigarettes is definitely one of the biggest wastes of money. Paying out the wazoo to lower your life expectancy significantly and smelling disgusting.
Yeah. Oh, well, man.
Yeah. Right. You hit a point in your life where you either start or you don't, and then at that point, you're on the path.
Yeah, I mean, they're not wrong, but nothing to be angry about.
Right. Here I said.
Yeah, you're right.
Congratulations. You don't smoke. Bottled water shows up on the list.
That one is stupid. I mean,
depends on where you are.
It's been proven on so many investigation programs that the water in the bottles is no safer or cleaner. It is bottled tap waters. We sell it. The Canadians sell it to the U.S., who turn around and sell it back to us at premium. Makes 0 cents.
But their water is still better. If you go to Las Vegas, drink the water out of the tap and tell me you don't run it.
You're going to get a bottle of water.
Get a bottle of water.
Exactly.
It just matters what is their quality of water.
Sure.
So Seattle has great water. I think. It's just I don't know.
I'm a tap water guy, but also If you're outside, you know what I mean? If I'm driving somewhere, whenever I stop, I'm going to get a bottle of water.
You bet.
If you're taking a walk in the park, probably bringing a bottle of water.
Right. It's kind of funny. Somebody makes a point here. They say the everyone can work from home crowd are awfully dependent on the package delivery drivers.
Uh-huh.
I work for UPS. I'm working from home today. No, you're not.
No, you ain't. That is exactly right.
And they can't work from home.
Somebody points out Ted has been married. Ted married himself.
That is very true.
That is true.
And that cheapskate didn't spend $1 on that wedding.
What's that?
And that cheapskate didn't spend $1 on that wedding.
I didn't. That was a great wedding.
It was.
The hostess
got gifts.
Yeah.
People bought him goddamn wedding gifts.
I used that toaster forever.
I know.
Boy.
Didn't you dance with was it a broom or a mop? Mop, right?
Oh, I did the vowels right with something that was standing there. I still love Mike. Some people were like, "Where'd you come up with those vowels? Those were really good." It's like it was the second verse of a Timberlake song.
Man's a poet.
Yeah, right.
Food delivery fee shows up there. Blows my mind when I see someone within walking distance where they have a car use a food delivery app. At least call the place directly to see if they have their own drivers. Aren't you just better than everybody else?
I will say this. Those fees are expensive, but man, the convenience is nice sometimes.
You're damn right it is.
And I understand their convenience fee because my ass didn't leave the house. The convenience fee that kills me is like concert tickets.
Right.
Like, what's the convenience?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
There is no convenience.
Right.
I showed up. Right. I gave you money.
Well, and that's part of what ordering a pizza was so exciting about when you were younger. That was one of the few places that actually did deliver. I think,
right.
Like some Chinese places I feel like also delivered, but that was pretty much it.
You're right. I think pizza and Chinese were like...
Right.
Yeah.
And it was waiting for the delivery guy to get there. Now you can do that with pretty much anything. The excitement is there.
COVID is what did it.
You bet.
Right? This place didn't want to go to business. And all because remember, McDonald's was like, dude, we're never going to do delivery and all that.
Right.
And then COVID hit, and they're like, we will deliver this S to your house.
And that kept the roof over my head. So you go ahead and take your hot take and stuff.
I will say, as somebody that has ordered a lot of stuff, like food, like I do prefer, if there's a restaurant and they have driver, I'll order from them.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
But the number one biggest waste of money, according to people with their hot takes, this one's not wrong, though. Funeral expenses. It's the opposite of the wedding. You tell anybody that this is for a funeral, they will take advantage of the fact that you're bereft.
But here's the difference.
Yeah, and
it's not a waste of money. It is a scam.
There you go.
You know what I mean? It's like people don't go all out on the funeral. Dude, we got the greatest this and it's not that. You got whatever kind of service you want, you got to pay for. And like you said, since you're grieving, they gouge the living hell out of you. But it's not quote unquote a waste of money. It is a scam that they run on their end of things.
If you're going to go nuts on my wedding, let it be for kegs.
Right.
Buy friggin' drinks, buy a DJ, and have a good old time.
Most of our money went to booze.
There you go.
It really did, because I was trying to explain to not even a wedding planner, just the chick who said, yes, this is the space you can use. Well, we'll provide X amount of booze. I'm like, you're going to need more than that. Well, you got to pay for it. I said, I don't have a problem paying for it because it's not a waste of money because it's about 70 people and they drink their faces off.
Right.
And we
Why is this a hard concept?
But here's the beauty of it. When you pay for it, whatever's not used, you get. So yes, we had to take some flowers home.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I got bottles of booze to take home.
Yeah.
My wife would never have been okay with me spending that much money on that much booze just for the home. But at the end, I'm like, ha-ha! We have like 8 more bottles of Jack Daniels.
A woman is asking the internet's advice after something strange happened when her sister babysat for her, Miles.
What was that?
I'll give you the full details at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey there, everybody. I'm Melvin Robert from the TV show Extra. Every day on our show, we talk to the biggest celebrities and the biggest newsmakers around. We get exclusive details about hookups and breakups, baby news, and the behind-the-scenes info from your favorite TV shows and movies. But we can only fit so much on our show. That's where Extra the Podcast comes in. Listen and follow Extra the Podcast and Odyssey Podcast on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Part of the minute, drinking time.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Before we get there, Ted, question for you. Someone wants to know.
Hit me.
The second verse of which Timberlake song did you do your vows to yourself?
Ooh. It was on the second album. I'd have to look.
All right. So you cannot remember off the top of your head.
I cannot.
All right. Today, we toast, well, one of my favorite actors of all time, simply because he played Han Solo, but Harrison Ford, all right? Now, one thing about Harrison Ford, he is not known to be a particularly funny guy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's
he's a jokester.
He's a jokester, but he's always very stoic, and every time he does an interview, he's deadpan. Anyway, I just came across this today. I guess this happened years ago. This was him, I believe, on the David Letterman show.
So this guy's working in the produce department at the grocery store, and a lady walks up and she says, "Excuse me." He says, "Yes." She says, "Where's the broccoli? I can't find the broccoli." He said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, ma'am." He says, "We ran out of broccoli. We'll have some tomorrow morning." And he goes back to his work, and he's stacking the oranges, and he hears behind me, Mister. He turns around, and it's the same lady, and she says, "Where's the broccoli? You got any broccoli?" He says, "No, ma'am. We're fresh out of broccoli. We'll have some tomorrow morning." Goes back to work. A couple of minutes later, this woman walks right up in his face, and she says, "How come I can't find any broccoli?" He says, "Lady," he says, "do me a favor, will you?" She said, "What?" He says, "How do you spell," indulge me, "how do you spell cat?" He says, "Like in catastrophic." She says, C-A-T. He says, "How do you spell dog?" Like in dogmatic. She says, D-O-G. He says, "How do you spell like in broccoli?" She says, "There is no broccoli." He said, "That's what I'm trying to tell you, lady."
All right.
Yeah. Took a minute to get there, and I'm like, that's kind of goddamn funny. So we pour this booze, and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bitchola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Stephen Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Candy. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola. All right, sweet Candy. You understand how this here game is played?
Yes.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of three stories. Today, we have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, for today, Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem.
Okay, I'm going to go with animal this.
All right, here is your story. We go to the fine city of Houston, Texas, where police responding to a report of an aggressive animal said they were shocked when they arrived on the scene and discovered the animal in question. The Houston Police Department said officers arrived in the Telephone Road neighborhood and were told that the animal had bitten a neighbor and fought with a dog before fleeing under a pickup truck. Quote, "We go under the truck, and there it is, hanging from the axles of the truck, and he looked pretty beat up." That's according to one of the officers. Now, police were concerned that the animal might feel threatened and attempt to defend itself, so they summoned personnel from the local animal shelter for assistance. Well, those officials were able to successfully contain it, and they said the animal will be taken to a specialist rehabilitation facility while police work to identify its owner and determine whether it should be returned home. An officer at the scene said, quote, "It's definitely a first. It wasn't something we were expecting when we got dispatched out here. The question is, what was the animal in question? Was it a bat? Was it a monkey? Was it a caiman? Or was it a cobra? So bat, monkey, caiman, or cobra?
I'm going with bat. Batty bat.
Batty bat.
Okay, bat for Candy. Miles going monkey.
Miles going monkey.
Sounds like you're just about to get crazy.
I know.
Miles gonna monkey tonight. You know what? Give me that tiny little gator, the caiman.
The caiman. Okay. What did they end up wrangling there in Texas? Was it a bat, a monkey, a caiman, or a cobra? We're going to find out next.
That was a tease.
We all have tasks we'd like to avoid, like mailing and shipping. It takes time lugging all those letters and packages to the post office. That's why you should try Stamps.com. For 25 years, Stamps.com has made mailing and shipping easy. You get all the services of the post office right on your computer, anytime. No traffic, no waiting, no hassle. Plus, you save money with discounts up to 84% on USPS and UPS. With Stamps.com, all you need is a computer and printer. Print stamps, print shipping labels, and if you sell products online, Stamps.com connects with every major marketplace and shopping cart, so you can spend less time on shipping and more time on your business. Get started with Stamps.com today. Sign up with promo code PROGRAM for a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus postage and a digital scale. Just go to Stamps.com and enter code PROGRAM.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Categories: animalized hits on Profile This. Houston police responded to a report of an aggressive animal that had bit one person and then went after a dog. Animal control came in. They did wrangle the animal. Apparently very unusual. They never had this experience before. Question is, was it a bat, a monkey, a caiman, or a cobra?
And Candy, that is the very question that we posed to you, but let us start with D. Ted Smith.
Oh, damn it.
D. Ted Smith, you went with the tiny gator, the caiman.
The caiman.
It was not a caiman. Candy, you went with a bat. I believe you called it a batty bat.
Yes, I maintain it was a bat. Oh, no.
It was not a batty bat, Candy.
Sorry, Candy.
Miles, you went with the old monkey.
Monkey. That chunky monkey. That funky monkey. That monkey.
Yeah, this guy said they showed up because no one told them what the animal was, just that an animal had been attacked by a dog. They showed up and they're like, that is a goddamn monkey. And we're not messing with it. I like that. I mean, straight up like...
Not my job.
Yeah, we are not. We're not dealing with this.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Tia.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Is everybody in here a fan of The Office?
I was, for sure, yeah.
I great show, and it's funny because I was late to The Office, but I always say, like, I watched it for a lot of years there, and then kind of fell off towards the end, especially when especially when Steve Carell left the show. And it kind of brings us to this. They're saying it's hard to imagine The Office without Steve Carell as Michael Scott, but he wasn't the only actor considered. Paul Giamatti and Philip Seymour Hoffman, they both turned it down.
Really?
Which Philip Seymour Hoffman, who's passed away now, I get why he would, because he's mainly a movie guy. I'm sure he did TV at some point.
But I think Paul Giamatti actually could have pulled off the role.
Correct.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has that dry thing going on.
Yeah, always concerned, always worried, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, he plays a very scared, worried guy very well.
He does it extremely well.
Yeah. Well, and then he ended up winning, the Oscar for...
Sideways.
Sideways, right. I was going to say the wine movie and everything. Which is kind of awesome, right? Because he's one of those guys, like... He doesn't have classically good looks.
He's not going to be an action star. He's not your romantic lead. But somehow everyone just kind of genuinely likes the guy.
Yeah, and he always kind of played those parts in movies. It's like the nervous, funny guy or like the annoying guy. So it's like, all right, there you go.
Yeah.
So they both turned it down. Louis C.K., he read for the part, but he was in a holding deal with CBS, so he couldn't do it.
Okay.
And then I think these are, we're talking about people that could have played Michael Scott on The Office. Rainn Wilson... I think, right, see, Mike's an Office fan, so he already knows what I'm going to say. He tried out for it. He really wanted it, but they ended up casting him as Dwight.
Okay.
Which, honestly, I think was a good idea because that character is so ingrained and just awesome.
you know, a lot of comedies have good casts and everything, but I mean, him as Dwight. I mean, sometimes I want, like, he might be, even though I always disliked him, he's arguably the best character on that show.
He is. He was consistent. You knew the spirit he was going to bring to the role. But it's funny because Rainn Wilson, you know, going back now, it's like, look, man, I enjoyed the role, but in a sense, it killed my career because I got so typecast. It was hard. No one would hire me to do other types of roles.
Yeah, it's tough after a while.
He was such the Dwight, right? That he's like, I couldn't get roles doing anything else because even when you had a test audience, when they saw me, man, all they saw was Dwight.
Correct, yeah. But the other people that tried out for Dwight were Patton Oswalt, Adam Scott, and Bob Odenkirk.
That's quite a list.
Yeah, and I think any of them could have. I mean, they could have done a version of it. It would have been their version of it. And you're right. Anytime you're on those giant, and Odenkirk, by the way, appeared in the during the final season, basically as like a Michael Scott-like office manager.
Okay.
Yeah, especially when you're on those comedies. But even, you know, I say this all the time, but even Idris Elba, right? Like, I knew him as Stringer Bell, and like in interviews and stuff, that was like his rule for years was like, do not ask me about The Wire, because the show was so big that he same thing. He was having trouble finding other jobs and stuff, and then frankly, like you see him now, you see him DJing and stuff. It was just you were so used to him being an intimidating, scary character. It's like, right, that's not really who he is.
No,
he's a very good actor.
Same with Ed O'Neill.
Yeah, same with Ed O'Neill, or even Michael Richards from Seinfeld. Remember when he got in trouble screaming the N-word on stage, and then Seinfeld goes on Letterman, and they beam him in via satellite, but everybody kept laughing. Seinfeld had to be like, stop, like, it's not funny. I'm trying to get him to apologize. But again, people hadn't seen him on a screen, so when you see him, you laugh.
Yeah, because Ed O'Neill, he said, man, you know, Married with Children wrapped up. Everyone knew me as Al Bundy, and that show was so groundbreaking at the time that you couldn't escape it for a while. But he was in a dramatic role of some movie. I can't remember what it was, but like he played a military guy or something. But when they did the test screening, he said, it's a serious role. I had a serious part, but the audience started laughing and clapping as soon as they saw me. Didn't matter that it was a drama. It's just as soon as they saw it, it's like, it's Al Bundy, right? So,
and we've talked about this before. The funny thing is that most comedic actors seem to be able to go over to dramatic acting
for sure
pretty well, but it seems tougher for serious. Like Daniel Day-Lewis, as great as an actor as he is, I think he would struggle in a comedy.
He couldn't. I don't think he could pull off a comedy.
I don't think he would want to do it. I think he'd hate it.
I don't really like to laugh. No, you're right. A lot of the comedic
doesn't
actors
come across as a guy who's going to tell jokes.
But I mean, and you're right, because like Tom Hanks was a stand-up comic. Then he was on TV in a sitcom.
Bosom Buddies.
Then he did just a bunch of comedies.
Bachelor Party, Money Pit.
Now, I mean, you look at if you're young enough, you would never know that this guy burst onto the scene being funny. Robin Williams did a great job of it. He was hysterical, and they put him in dramatic roles, and he crushed it. And then people said, well, De Niro's been in comedies, but Robert De Niro is still not a comedic actor. He's still not funny. He just plays Robert De Niro.
He did.
With other dumb things going on around it. So it could be like Meet the Fockers, right? And you go, it's a comedy. It's like, right, he's not funny in it at all.
He's the out-of-place character in the comedy.
That's exactly it.
Correct. Yeah. All right, let's see. Anybody in here an Ed Sheeran fan?
I don't think he's fine.
I love him. Seriously, he's one of my favorite artists. The guy's unreal. He sings songs that you know and stuff. But I mean, I've heard him rap before. I've heard him beatbox. There's a whole 20-minute video where he does it all in one session in the studio. So they asked him about headlining the Super Bowl halftime show, and he was saying like he wouldn't do it. He wouldn't mind being a guest. He says, "quote I don't have pizzazz. You watch Prince, Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, like those are all amazing performers. I'm just not that. I'm not going to have dancers on stage. I'm not going to have fireworks and blah blah blah."
That's a fair call.
Sure. All right. He says, I just can't. That's not me. I don't know anybody wants to see me do the Super Bowl either.
It's not that he's not talented. You could say the same for Adele, who's on that level.
But you're not.
Just know your audience.
Correct. And I would disagree that nobody wants to see him. I think he would put on a great performance at the Super Bowl halftime show. It just wouldn't be a great show. I think what he's saying is exactly right. He's more of a give me a stool and a guitar and I will go up there and I will serenade you guys for 45 minutes.
And they do a week's worth of performances and concerts leading up to the Super Bowl now anyway. Every night's a different night. He's still not right for that.
Because of what it's become.
Because people are throwing a party.
And I think you could.
Really?
Ed Sheeran is one of the biggest artists in the world.
Oh, yeah, he's huge.
So, like, a party leading up, if it's like, I don't know, they used to always have, like, the Maxim party and stuff. Like, if Adele or Ed Sheeran is playing, like, people are still going to go.
Yeah, they're going to go.
I would also say, and Mike, I'm sure will back me up on this, in the country world, one of the biggest artists out there is Luke Combs. He does a cover of an Ed Sheeran song. One time, Ed Sheeran came out and they did it together. So maybe Luke Combs headlines halftime,
and Sheeran could come out.
Bring out old Ed for Drive.
Where are we? Where are we doing this? Where are we doing the Super Bowl this year? Do we know?
Super Bowl this year is.
That's a great.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I have no
Ted
idea.
absolutely knows where the Super Bowl is being held this year.
It might be in Vegas.
Well, they announce this stuff 4 or 5 years ahead of
They
the,
do.
knows
ahead of the
exactly
curve,
where it's
It
at.
might, honestly, is it Vegas? Yeah, it's Vegas. All right.
Oh, get out of here. That'll be crazy. That'll
gonna be
be
a good
crazy.
There is going to be the problems.
There is. But when you were opening that story, I didn't know where it was going. All I heard was like, oh, shoot, Ed Sheeran's going to headline the Super Bowl. I was like, I wonder if his special guest going to be Luke Combs. Like, that is a matchup, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Luke Combs has enough upbeat songs that you could bring Ed out for the one slow one.
Can you imagine that, dude? Luke Combs shotgunning a beer on the Super Bowl halftime stage.
Speaking of shotgunning beers, I've talked about this before. I love that. Like, I always grew up drinking light beers, right?
Yeah.
Kind of a bro. I like that beer culture has gotten bigger. And, you see guys on the golf course shotgunning beers. You see people on stage. We got it. We got to start. If people can't do it, just don't have them do it.
Right.
I watched, there's a famous golfer, a female golfer, Instagram person, which is
Paige Spearnut.
Yeah, and I saw her doing one the other day, and it's like, that's not really cutting it. Right?
But whatever she does, we'll watch.
Oh, 100%. Have a day.
Way to try.
Millie Bobby Brown, everybody knows her, of course, from Stranger Things. Right, from Stranger Things.
Yes.
I did not realize she's still only 19 years old.
Yeah, I mean, she's young, man, for sure.
Right, because they were real young when they started. But it's like social media can take a toll on any person's mental health. Even her, in fact, she has her team curate and censor her feed to protect her.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I can guess the things that are coming.
She's still a teenager.
Right.
Those are some tough years no matter how famous you are.
Yes.
I mean, I'll be dead honest with you. Like, I get people that do stuff on social media and have a ton of fans and everything.
Yeah.
But man, read on those comments. I don't care who you are. It's just brutal.
Of course.
I mean, you could be the most popular person in the world. Everybody loves you. You post something, like somebody's going to just attack you.
Also, the older you get, the more thicker your skin seems to, and that's a pretty tender age.
Yeah.
As far as that is.
Yeah, right. She said it didn't really add anything to her life. She feels more positive when she doesn't have it on her phone. Just felt like my life would be more confident in freedom, mental freedom without social media. I just feel better for it. But that doesn't mean that that good social media I don't get to see. So basically, like if you're tweeting at her or axing her,
yeah.
or talking or sending a message on Facebook like, hey, like I love Stranger Things, like big fan or whatever, like they'll show her that and she can probably respond and be like, oh, thanks.
Man,
I don't know that she would say it exactly like that.
You don't think she said thanks?
Thank you.
Is she British?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Millie Bobby Brown.
My name's Millie.
Viles, did you end up watching the Shock Jock show last night?
I did not.
Oh, all right. Well, you texted me about it. I still haven't watched it myself, so I was hoping maybe you had.
No, I didn't do it.
Fuller House. We all know the main characters there.
Is that still on?
Not sure.
I really don't know because we heard about it when they were bringing it back.
Netflix, right?
Correct.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's already done. I think they only did a couple seasons of it.
All right.
I think some of that stuff too, like it comes back. Like again, Cobra Kai, because it was complete. Like the two main guys are there, but it's all new karate students and everything. So that story could kind of build and go. And again, they only made one season. Then it was such a hit, they started pumping them out. But like Fuller House and some of those other continuation ones, it seems tough after like a 2-season, 3-season. Like, I don't know where we're taking this. So they're saying maybe there's a little feud going on. So earlier this year, Candace Cameron Burr became the chief content officer of the Great America Media.
Okay.
The company's positioned itself basically as like an alternative to the Hallmark Channel, which focuses on traditional marriage and values.
All right.
Basically, they don't like that, gay and lesbian, LGBTQ actors started getting all these roles over there on Hallmark.
Okay.
So they kind of want to start at their own thing. So then now Jodie Sweden, on the other hand, what's that?
Jodie.
She's the opposite, right? You will see her at pride marches, this and that.
Yeah.
So she made a movie, which she thought was for Hallmark, but then they ended up selling it to the great American media. So basically, she's like saying she was surprised and disappointed to learn about the sale. She said, quote, "I'm keeping with my mission of supporting the LGBTQ plus family." Basically, like, look, they have their network, which, go ahead, you can have it. But, like, she's just like, dude, like, you know my stance on this stuff. Right. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. If I have a network that's like, I hate the Niners, and then Joe Montana makes a movie, and I'm like, I'm going to buy that movie and put it on the I Hate the Niners network. Like, right. Joe Montana's probably going to be like, what are you doing?
Right. I hate the Niners network.
You know what? I bet we get some views.
You definitely would be popular in this town.
Depends on where you are. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think I Hate the Cowboys network would get more.
Nationwide.
But honestly, that's been going on for 30 years every Sunday around 1 p.m. Everybody's
their own fans.
Right.
Hey, want to throw stuff at their TV, breaking stuff.
Do you hate the Cowboys? Just wait till playoff season. Speaking of football, you got some preseason football on tonight over on the NFL Network. And again, that'll be one of those weekends. Those games will be going on. Like the Seahawks are playing Saturday night here. But yeah, that's the Eagles and the Browns. Tracy Morgan's also got a new comedy special out on Max.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Sunflower Farm in the UK is begging visitors to keep their clothes on. Unfortunately, the days of furries having fun at the beach may soon be gone. Woman upset coming home to find her baby feasting on sister's honey hams. Car gets stuck into San Francisco, and not because of pesky traffic jams. And a Los Angeles man, he tries to run over another. After an argument, it's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. We go to the lovely world of the internet where a woman is looking for some advice. She recently posted to the AITA forum, which is basically where people post stories wondering if they're in the wrong. I'll let you guys do the math there. AITA. Mm-hmm. In the post, she told of how her sister came over to babysit her son. But when she got home, she found that her sister was breastfeeding him. Yeah. She said that she didn't initially have a problem with it. She's a new mom herself. But then she found out that her sister had dumped out all the formula that was in the fridge, which she called garbage, and said that she would be pumping and donating for him.
Well, don't throw the stuff away.
Okay.
That's the issue.
Right. If she was just like, happened to be nursing as well and was like, all right, I fed her, like, that's already strange. But then to throw out all your sister, the actual mother's
So the sister then called the police on her sister and is asking if she's overreacted for that.
You overreacted by calling the cops. Just have your typical family argument and explain, dude. You know, because one thing about, especially when you first have a kid, you are hemorrhaging money.
Sure.
So if you bought something for the kids, especially something that feeds the kids, and you throw it out, I would lose my ass.
Right. Like, it's okay if you don't feed your kids the formula. Yeah, however,
whatever,
I have spent hundreds of dollars on all this formula.
They are not cheap, man. And it's so vitally important at that point in their life. You know what I mean? Like, at least get the money from your sister that she threw out.
Yes.
Then I'd say water under the bridge, but come on, man.
And that's
so, what did the people say? Did the cops do anything?
Everybody's all over the place with it. No, the cops basically told her that they couldn't arrest her for anything.
All right.
So, and everybody was saying the same thing that we are. That's a lot of money that she just tossed out,
that's
labeling
the big
it as
issue,
garbage.
man.
Right.
Come on.
But the thing is, that story took a turn because I clicked on it because it was like, woman comes home to find her sister breastfeeding her son.
Same reason I clicked on it. Like, what? So, right, she was okay with that part.
Right. And then she's fine with that. Which, I wouldn't be okay with that.
That would just be a little weird to me.
If my wife and I had a kid and I came in and my sister was my son was breastfeeding off of my sister, I'd be weirded out.
But that's your sister.
Yeah, that's your sister.
This is their sisters. And it's not that unheard of.
Okay.
That's to me, like in your situation, that's a big difference, right? Because that's your side.
Fair.
But if your wife had a sister and she nursed her, I'd be like, your kid, I'd be like,
it would still be weird. I'm picturing I have two sisters.
It's just more biologically feasible.
Yeah.
Right. But I'd still be like, dude, I appreciate the effort, but put your bees away, man.
For real, man.
No. And when do you ever say that?
Actually, leave them out, but stop feeding the kid.
Air them out, baby.
There you go.
That one. I mean, it has no effect. The kids. It's not like the kid's going to be like, I want sucked on my auntie's boobs. Like, but I can't shake it in my brain. I really can't. That's just weird to me. Like, hey, the kid's getting nutrients. The kid's going to be fine.
Sure.
Like, at the end of the day, that's okay.
It's
but
just odd.
Right. It just strikes me as weird. I'm not saying that I'm going to make fun of you for it, but others might.
You know, it'd be really weird to come home and your brother's breastfeeding.
Exactly.
Hey, dude,
put those things away.
Especially, I don't have a brother.
I'm your long-lost brother and I'm breastfeeding your kid. Like, wow. That's a lot to unpack right here. Give me a good minute just to absorb what I'm hearing.
Oh, no. In other news, over in the UK, a local sunflower farm has a plea for visitors. The owners of the farm told the media that they've had an excessive amount of complaints from guests about people doing photo shoots while visiting the farm, which isn't unheard of. It's a nice little field of flowers out there, so people are going to take photos. They don't usually mind when folks take photos for their Instagrams. It's actually great. It's a great way to promote their spot. But the complaints are more about the fact that people are doing the photo shoots naked. Since the influx, they posted signage and social media posts asking people to kindly keep their clothes on while visiting the farm.
Can you imagine, like, I'm working at this place, and I don't know what's going on. Mike, you're the manager, and you walk in, and you say, Thrill, man, you need to do me a favor and write up a sign. All right, what do you got, man? Please don't be naked in the sunflower farm.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, what? Do we need to write this? For real? Okay.
Right.
Please keep your clothes on while licking up the sunflowers.
And that's another one where it's just, I don't know how people have that kind of comfort. There is very few places where I will go onto somebody else's property and take my clothes off.
While not engaging in sex with the person who owns said property.
Exactly. I'm thinking like I'm going to a pool or a water park where I'm changing out of my clothes into my trunks. Other than that, I think the clothes stay on. Like, I don't...
It's a general rule most places.
Right. So... And you're out in the open. You're in the public.
It's a sunflower thing. It's a natural beauty, so why not be natural in it, dude?
Look,
seriously, right?
Look where I put the bloom of this sunflower. It's very symbolic. Put your damn clothes on. Crazy scene down in California. A fight broke out during one of the strangest meetups, a furry convention. The story goes that a man who was not a part of the group was recording participants on his phone, refusing to leave, and even holding the phone in the face of one person in particular, obviously setting them off. Things escalated beyond words after one of the costume patrons hit the man over the head with a megaphone, and he was tackled to the ground. The scuffle continued until authorities arrived and arrests were made. There's speculation that the confrontation may have been caused by a scorned lover of one of the furries in the convention.
Oh boy! And he got a bullhorn to the head.
I don't care where you are. Somebody asks you to leave. Just leave.
Just leave.
Anyway, right? Like, I mean, look. Shouldn't have hit him with the bullhorn, but also, like, I've seen the video. Like, that guy, like, come on, dude.
Right. You're filming people trying to get a rise out of them. Congratulations. You got what you asked for. And that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for Kicks for Kids Day. Kicks for Kids Day inspired Bad Choice Friday. And the return of Ted versus the FCC. Terrence up next.
Yes, indeed. It's all true, but in the meantime, well, we'll be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.